the cover.
It holds it
And
in.
holds it in, so
Yeah.
that was a trial and error and didn't work
Yeah,
either,
that's
so,
kind of like when you get in the car, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see that screen, Patty?
Yep.
I mean, all that shows us.
I didn't notice on my truck.
Oh, the camera got moved or something?
I don't know if I made a mistake by not doing that or not.
Good thing you noticed. I see you.
What? Oh, you want the lights on?
No, he's
Oh.
moving the camera. A little bit more. But I can't see their heads. That looks good. How close in do you want?
That's, we'll zoom in.
Okay, it's good.
Oh. So what have you been doing this whole few weeks?
Actually, I've been working over I don't know if you know John Ferris and that.
Unit?
Got a little body shop over on McCarty Street over by the ball field,
Yeah.
so I've been working with him.
Okay, you just doing body work?
No, I don't do body work, I don't mechanic, I'm not a body, no.
Yeah.
I do help him put some stuff, like bumper covers, stuff that, it's a nut and bolt type thing, put it back together, but I don't do no painting, no sanding, no painting, no nothing like that.
So,
Not my MO.
were you here that Monday that there wasn't any heat? You might not have been.
Oh, I heard about
$200.
Yeah.
He does that stuff, I'm not,
Well, that's one of the worst things you can do for your health.
yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I
As long as it works,
I'm not,
you know?
I don't do that. I help him do some mechanic, because he does quite a bit, he does brake jobs and oil changes.
Gene
and
yelled at me about
wheel
it.
bearings and,
So I want to ask Kevin about the handicap signs.
I kind of took that load off of him, doing some of that. So,
I've got a few old.
Since we just ordered 4 stop signs and a what?
They just been sitting around waiting to clean it out. Oh, yeah, come on, I got some.
And a Reservoir Hill Road. Yeah, I saw that had gotten crumpled a little bit.
I actually have a bulldozer once, so
yeah.
it's a 420
Mm.
John Deere.
He's looking for a skid steer for stuff. You got a skid steer by any chance kicking around?
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna put it back out. I'll see that way.
Oh, that'll work.
So I get time to do it again. I just gotta remember how to.
Computer.
Oh, really? To move it?
Yeah, on this.
Like with your mouse or
Yeah.
something?
Yep, there is. I'll be darned if I can remember how it goes.
So where's Jim Douglas tonight?
He's not feeling well.
Oh,
Palmer won't be here either. He's not feeling well.
really?
But he's gonna
Just wanna-
call and listen to the meeting.
It's live on there now.
You what?
This is live.
Okay, thank you. Uh-oh, I lost the paper clip.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Gene will have my head.
Yeah, she did.
Seriously, where'd it go? I don't know.
Better find another one.
Yeah, I know where the stash is. So good, I won't have to have my mask on since Jim's not here or Palmer. Yeah, Palmer said if you didn't start feeling better, he's gonna go get a COVID test.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Which side do you want these on, Patty? No, then these, right there.
I'll be done in 2 minutes on mine.
All right. Yeah, what a nice day it turned out to be.
I know. I got a load of laundry dried on the
Man,
line.
after the last few days of rain and crappy dreariness.
Probably by tomorrow, the grass will be
Yeah.
spurting up something wicked.
Yeah.
I know my weeds in my flower garden are. We got 2 checks to Denise Lisk. Okay, must be for 2 different months.
Two.
Well, one was reimbursement for pictures. Did she take pictures of the dogs or something?
I don't know.
Jim, I don't know if you knew this or not, but a tree had fallen down in one of the cemeteries down by Church Science.
I seen that, yeah. All right.
And, Tony Barnhart got it cleaned up.
Right.
And so, supposedly he's gonna be putting together some prices for us to take the trees out.
Yeah.
I wanna get all those trees out. Well, spruce trees.
There's just gonna be nuisance.
Oh, yeah, it's just a matter of time. They're coming down, well, you know, we wanna be like, yeah, cheaper to take them down than just wood, you know.
Well, they fall down and destroy headstones
Yeah,
and
they,
stuff.
yeah,
That's-
there's one nice headstone we got knocked over. I think it's fixable. It's like, it's in like there's a platform, there's a big stone on it, and then a little stone on top of that. So it kind of all fit, disassembled, but I don't think it's broke. Oh, it takes somebody with a little bit more strength than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of strength.
You need more than 2 people or?
Oh, I'd say 4. It's got ropes on it.
Oh,
It's a piece of stone like this,
yeah. Oh,
you know.
okay.
Yep,
So we need a work party.
yeah.
Is that something we need to take care of?
At some
Does
point.
that work? Huh?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if we're
Whew.
responsible to fix headstones or not. I
Yeah.
don't think we are. I think we're only responsible. Like, you know,
Yeah.
but I kind of feel an obligation to do it,
Yeah.
you know? So I think if we can just I think I just a couple of people out there, I'll look at it. It was under a bunch of junk when I saw it, so I couldn't get a good assessment of it, but yeah.
Well, that should be our last sand delivery or salt from, no, it would be sand from Malapke.
But,
Yeah.
let's hope so.
So, Jim,
Yeah,
Beck equipment,
yeah,
hydraulic pump,
yeah.
is that for a vehicle?
That was for one of the big trucks that,
Is this what you and George were talking about or not?
no, we were talking
Okay.
about an oil pan.
Okay, all right, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I'm not asking the same question.
No, that's for, one of the trucks that hose blew. I think actually Corey was driving that truck.
Actually, I think I remember him telling me that.
Yeah, and so it ended up, he didn't get the pumps turned off in time or whatever before it ran out of oil. and it
Oh.
burnt the pump.
Oh, and $140 for shipping.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Ange is here.
Lindsay, yeah.
Listen to her rocking out there.
yeah, so me and George was talking about an oil pan on there that was $1,000
Yeah.
or 900 each, so.
Yeah.
For trucks. Well, truck 76, which that truck needs, when they go to get rid of a truck, that's the truck. Is it 76? No, that's not the truck that needs to go. 79 is the one that needs to go.
So when you get rid of a truck, if it's got new parts in it, do you like try and switch them out?
No, because most of the time it's a waste of time, depending on what it is. I mean, if it had a brand new plow or something like that on it,
Right,
you know, yeah, but
Right.
you wouldn't send a brand new plow with the, you know,
yeah,
but most of the time it's like, whether you say good money after bad,
Well-
after time,
yeah.
if it gets so old.
Well, no, I know, like, say you got a brand new oil pan on it,
Yeah,
then you're not gonna be rid of it. You got a truck just like it, and the pan is not so great,
yeah.
swap them out.
Swap them out, yeah. There again, it's
Hi,
it's
Ange.
probably a
Hi.
6-hour job, so.
Long
you
time no
gotta-
see.
Yeah, yeah, to take one off and put another, take 2 pays off, and yeah,
Really?
yeah, they're huge, they're
Yeah,
this long, and, you know, they're that deep, they hold 12 gallons of oil.
okay.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's not
There's the oil pan, okay.
usable, or not doable, but it's, if you hit somebody tripping out when they're doing anything,
Yeah,
possibly,
all right, I didn't
but
realize.
you gotta buy a new gasket and replace it, and
On an old car, it's like 20 minutes,
I do,
maybe an old car.
like it's
Something that
fifties
you
and
gotta,
sixties.
yeah,
Yeah.
but something that you gotta lift the motor up out of,
Oh, yeah,
maybe
No.
on a tractor.
the old Chevys, like the 50s and the 60s Chevys, there was nothing under the oil pan, just unbolt it and drop it off.
Yeah, maybe on a pickup truck with a straight axle. But most of the cars, they got cross members, and you got about this much room to get,
Yeah,
you know, generally you gotta take the motor mounts out, take the motor up, and it's,
I do wanna say when, Corey traded in his last truck,
Hmm.
he had put new tires on like less than a month before,
Yeah.
and I made him switch out.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's,
Mhm.
right.
Sure.
He's like, I can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can, and you
I
will.
don't blame you.
And then we sold the new ones.
That works.
I assume he sold them.
Well, I don't blame you, because I know somebody recently bought a new car. Actually, it was Liz. Liz Birch bought a new car, and all of a sudden she needed new tires, and she was like, but the car is new and it didn't have, I don't know, 20,000 miles on it. So she went to Marshall, and Marshall says, yeah, when you buy a new car now, they're putting cheaper tires
Oh,
on
they
them.
do. They last about 21,000 miles.
Yep,
Oh, we're talking about brand new cars?
yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
yeah, they put less mileage tires on them.
Good. I got 40,000 on my truck
Well, that's pretty good.
tires.
Really?
Yeah,
Since it's been new, you mean?
when I bought it brand new,
Yeah.
and I ran those tires 40,000 miles before I got new ones.
Maybe it's your driving technique.
I don't know.
I don't know. Because she garages hers, so it's not like they sat outside in
I
the
don't
weather.
know.
No, okay, the one- really?
Well, here's the, I have 2-wheel drive with price tractions.
Okay.
So I usually have winter tires in the back. And so you don't rotate those around, you just.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing to make it pour faster than having to buy 4 tires for a 4-wheel drive.
Mhm.
I found this good place online to buy tires.
Oh, really?
Simple tires. Of course, then you gotta pay the guy to put them on, but even so, it's still. I got like,
Well, you usually gotta pay the guy anyways.
I got all-terrain tires. They were I think they were 17. Maybe they were 16.
Were they new?
Yeah, brand new. They were beautiful tires. I
What-
could get up and down my driveway without plowing it.
What brand name?
I can't remember. Some
Okay, but so
probably
they're,
Japanese, just kinda.
oh, really?
They all are. Tokyo or whatever.
Or something, I don't know. I could look it up, but yeah, no, they were good tires.
So do you have to pay shipping on them?
No, free shipping, and the FedEx guy just delivers the tires with the labels stuck on them, throws it in your yard.
property.
And I know somebody put them on for $10 a tire, balanced them and everything, so it was.
Wow, you can't beat that.
No, you can't, you really can't.
Here's the property, and they want to put a house there. So where the creek is depreciating there. We want to be relieved of any of
Oh,
the bank washes out.
wash it out, right.
So just kind of glance at that, and I want to approve that tonight. I forgot all about it, I just saw it in my folder.
Oh, this must be down by the, Weldonville end.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Tires are really $645 each.
Mm-hmm. That tractor, that big
Yeah,
lawn tractor. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they're crazy.
George already.
that's funny. We were just talking tires.
Where is?
Were they for the long tractor or the backhoe?
Tractor. I guess. Yeah, it says tractor, I believe.
Cause they're.
Mower.
They were last month.
What's,
The backhoe was last month.
Those mowing tractor, those tires. What is it? I don't need a copy.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted one.
No.
From the beginning of the world. Did you read this?
No, no.
Yeah, yeah. Says, yeah, hereafter have against the town upon any reason or of any matter, cause or anything arising from the beginning of the world to the effective date of this. For a long time.
fuel pump? Did they install that too?
Who says lawyers don't have such a humor?
Okay, you want me to just put this here since Mama won't be here?
Sure.
This is perfectly released.
Maybe I'll send that, sheet on with Corey.
You like that?
Okay, perfect.
Timmy left, his daughter
This?
got sick at like 3 o'clock, so.
Um,
So he left a little
It'll
early.
do what you want. I mean,
So I'll send it on.
some people just don't believe in plain
Anybody say
language.
no?
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
just said that in one sentence, but
Yeah, Roger said he's probably all right, he was gonna take another look at his,
Okay.
his were in his other truck. He was gonna take a look at them, so I'm kinda waiting on him.
Okay, all right, good.
But I know Tim has got one or the other, like you and I were talking
Yeah.
this morning, and I almost think he's got a coat with no pants,
Okay,
but I'm not sure on
so if we can get out of just buying,
that. Okay.
yeah. Are you getting one for you too?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if they said what the big, I mean, everybody knows they're worried about erosion. Or, you know, an environmental impact caused by the project. Those are the two things. But they never said it. They never said either one of those in here. All right. But it'll probably work, I'm sure.
Okay.
Who prepared this?
Palmer.
Yeah.
Her. Can't make up my mind. Okay. Do you have this totaled up, Kevin, or should I get my calculator out?
Too
I
late,
did, I didn't write it down, Patty.
too late.
Oh, you're already doing it? Okay.
Does this look familiar, Kevin?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
What you got, Bill? I can look.
93. $308, was that what it was? Bill?
Mhm.
Are we gonna go on a ride this year or no?
Probably not. No, I don't see we're at time. You have a lot more money, you know that, don't you?
Look, I think that he's being, stone prices went up 80 cents. So I added to his, that was before his quotes. I added some in there. I can't see us going the third week in May. I talked to him again today and they are just slam booked already. My fear is that the escalation is just gonna keep climbing and climbing and climbing.
Yeah,
So I wanted to leave a little wiggle room in there. I mean, you could change, just with the stone prices, per mile is $23,000.
we are live on this, but I really didn't want to get into it too much at our meeting. But, you're at that number there, and that don't even cover the chips.
No, well, I think it will.
Okay, so now let's say it does. But now, you still got over $100,000.
If we get the emergency recovery,
Well, we got
correct?
$80-some thousand in chips money left over.
I thought it was 50, Bill.
So we did hear at the dinner that we were at Thursday night that the CHIPS money isn't going to be reduced another 20%. So that's good.
Right.
There you go.
That's the first I had heard that.
I thought I read 50, Bill. Oh, there is, where did I come up with the 50? That'll cover, reservoir.
How far is that? Would it be somewhere in the sum of 1.4 miles?
I got turned over again.
Oh, that's better.
$3.1. So I'll take all of that and the winter recovery. be over. Boy, that'd be really,
Well, look at this.
yeah, but there's a, we still got. Right, that's what I was just
So
gonna do.
double that.
Yeah,
So then left over the chips.
That's the last one.
That's it.
yeah, but we still got gravel.
But you got gravel work, this gravel work. We'll take that.
What's that on the bill? 27,300. How could be so much work? That goes just across the top of the hill. It starts at Candor and then Stevie.
Oh, that's cold neck, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So 54.
But there's one going under my house, that's 2 courses.
I texted my nephew, Matthew,
But
and I
this
call him Mattio. It picked it up as, hey, Mario.
That auto direct sucks. It doesn't do a good job.
Well, this is voice to text.
Oh, okay.
And I obviously talk funny because, man, there's sometimes it's hard to figure out what I was trying to say.
Gravel costs that you're gonna be doing.
You know, it's so funny, I hardly ever use that.
Anyway.
I don't know why.
And
I use it constantly
3,500.
I'll have to try it.
because I'm too slow typing with one finger.
Oh,
Well, and I've been noticing with this new phone, I'll type one key and I'll get like 4 other letters and then I gotta go back and fix it and it's,
Yes, it's hard to
probably
do.
should try it.
Say this is.
Sometimes I'm stuck in a technological rut.
I'm gonna say that the money we carried over from last year, I mean, we're at 7,300. We're gonna be damn close to that, and then we can take our emergency recovery, or emergency winter.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we'll say you plan on that then.
Yeah, I'll bring back another one next month for that.
Oh,
I,
Oops.
it's you.
That's not me.
Oh. Oh, it's Bill. Oh, well, it's right there, I think.
All right.
Oh, that might be Palmer.
Who really called that?
Okay, so. Was that Palmer or not?
I gotta look his number up.
Hi, Ann. Have to look. Maybe next month we can be outside if it's warm enough.
Oh, that would be good. That'd be good.
So.
Do you want a copy of that? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you gonna be putting up the signs in the parking lot soon?
Yes, I've got them over there.
I know you do.
They're in the
I
office.
just saw like the stop signs that we paid for this time and it reminded me about the handicap signs from a couple months ago.
Yeah. We had cleaned it up.
Cause you can't even read that. I mean, it's horrible.
A little high-speed chase across the countryside the other day cost us 2 signs. 4
Oh,
poles.
that guy that got in Barton?
No, the one that they got up on Fairfield the other night.
Oh, didn't hear about that one.
Cost you, they ran into 2 signs?
4 signs,
4 signs.
2 mailboxes, telephone pole.
Wow.
Good lord.
Matt, what'd you do? Shave?
Maybe.
Let me see.
Where'd the nice signs come?
Oh, it trimmed it. It looks better.
Oh, you didn't even recognize, I looked back there, I didn't even recognize it. That's like,
Looks like you got a haircut too.
got a hat on.
Where'd you guys get the nice signs?
I made them.
You made them. I was gonna say. I
You
didn't
are
get
gullible.
that,
Where did you get them? Over in Dryden. What's the name of that place?
Yes, Dryden Trophy.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was a mix-up. They were supposed to only order 1,
but-
and it would say, Mary Townsend Judge. Well, it came back with 11 of them and spelled her name wrong.
So since we had the holders,
So since we had the holders, we went over to Dryden Trophy Place and had the plates made and just slid them in. I was thinking that maybe possibly for the planning board, I could
not my
get,
car, no one
Wasn't
else.
mine.
we could get,
Yeah, I've been handwriting them on.
what I'm thinking that is we could get plates made for them and all you do is just slide them out, put them in.
That-
Then we can leave them in the drawer.
It's not going anywhere with the dog, right?
Makes a lot of sense.
Right. And if that stupid alarm goes off, you have to start the car. I don't know how to fix it any other
Remind me
way.
of that, since, if, you do, talk to them, we still, we just, I've had so much on my mind, is the, thing for, Peter Ward as well, a little trophy or plaque,
Yeah, we were talked about that, didn't we?
yeah. I called in a week ago and they never called me back.
Yeah, I stopped and talked.
Oh, you stopped and talked to them, okay,
Yeah,
good.
they have some nice signs in there.
Jim, look what I found.
The thing is
Oh,
though, Peter's done a lot of
Mhm.
things, and I don't know what the dates of it are, and there's things that I don't know about. I mean,
Yeah,
he was town supervisor,
Mhm.
of course, he was on the board in,
Yeah.
planning board.
Yep,
He's also the county legislator, and he was, I think he was.
So the front
Yeah,
wheels do
I
drive.
believe he was, he was on the weights and measures.
oh, yeah, that, yeah.
Yeah, he held a lot of positions throughout.
Yeah.
Go over
So
and look.
I was wondering how much that we want to put out. you know.
And I
I saw
asked
it go
Chris, to get me a listing, but,
Yeah.
she hasn't done that yet,
Oh, okay.
so. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, my God.
well, you know, then his question, do we want to do everything in the county or just Candor?
I think just candor.
All right, so then,
I mean, that's my opinion, it's,
yeah,
but, if the county wanted to do something, then that would be something different, but this would be from from the town.
Right.
So if he represented Candor though at the county level, then,
He did, I think he was.
I mean, how,
Yeah, it depends on, yeah. It depends on how we wanna view
Yeah.
it, so.
Okay.
Because I think that's how the county works, like, we have Bill Sanger there now, right?
Mm.
So, Bill could be, he's our representative, but at some point, they elect whoever's gonna run that group,
Right.
and they keep that position.
Yeah.
And they just kind of run the show, but they're still representative of that town.
been a while since they've been moved?
Art's on the county now.
Oh, I'm really glad I got out of the way with the dust.
Art,
For the planning
for
board.
the, oh, no, he's on the actual county planning board.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Ah,
You do blinds, huh?
Hi, Ed.
How we doing?
Not bad.
Good.
Probably, Rallies
Really?
down there.
Oh.
I'm guessing,
About what?
but we can ask her.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just keep you on.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that. I didn't think of it though.
Okay.
And I don't know about how to reach out to seating, because I was like, you know, this- somebody could sit over there, but they're not gonna be on camera. And that may be a problem. And then move that
I
chair.
haven't.
Has the camera been fixed?
Yeah, he fixed it.
Okay,
Look
good.
at
They
your
do
YouTube, he
anything
fixed
up
it.
there?
So.
Right, you fixed it?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think he still has his license.
Really?
never mind.
Isn't the camera just up there?
No,
No, I can see you.
it takes up some of the stairs,
Oh,
some of the
dear.
chairs.
I
Don't give him any of
Right
those
down
hand
to there.
signals, Connie.
Yeah, because when we held ours, it was just showing out here. We were like, oh, okay.
He tried to fix it, he really did.
Honestly, Ed, there's a way here, but I forgot how to do it. You can do it right here from the mouse.
Oh, really?
You raise it.
I decided to be the-
But I couldn't remember how to do it. I'd sit there bucking with it. I said, well, I know the easy way. I went over, took the cover off and moved it up.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
What is
Here tomorrow morning.
1,008?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
You want a haircut?
Yeah, I do. I don't know where now. I don't, let me give you some advice. Don't make any plans to work on projects because it isn't gonna happen. Some other thing's gonna come along that's more important and blow your whole plan out of the water.
Well, that Lauber, she'll be fun to work with.
Yeah. I go to exercise class with her. Okay.
It's not in the nasty, and it's not in the
Okay.
You got a drawing or something like that?
If it's not really,
You're gonna have to log in
either.
and make that copy work, right?
No.
Oh, okay, that's long.
Oh, really?
Already, what do you need?
Well, 30 days, right?
So have you heard anything from the county level yet about the marijuana act? Whether or not
They didn't have it last
the county is planning on moving forward with accepting it or?
So I I don't think it's been reinstated, stated in stone.
I haven't heard anything, so I didn't know if you did.
I think it's still 2 years away.
Somewhere.
It's actually already started. You
Right,
can
but I
legally-
think if anything happens, I think it's gonna be 2 years before.
by the end of next year, it will be in 100% full effect of how much you can have on you, how much you can grow, how much you
But I know it's
Yeah.
not.
that. But currently, you're allowed to do stuff with it now.
Some of my friends who watch
So-
YouTube videos, you need to
How do
be
you
louder.
deal with that?
You're too quiet.
Haven't heard.
They can't hear you.
I don't, where's the microphone?
For us,
I
our
know.
license is still
Bill,
all under
Is there
federal,
anything going on with the justice?
so it doesn't affect, I mean,
Well,
No,
one thing
it's-
you asked us, now,
can't
when
do
we talk
They
about mutual
opened up.
conflict, 'cause they couldn't-
So they are open now?
I just basically told them.
Yeah,
we
it's
talked
just
about
easy.
it.
I was wondering the same thing, Matt.
federal government has to
Oh,
be-
Yeah, I've been
What's your schedule?
But, you know,
I'm not sure.
I
I don't know if it's first and third or just first.
All right, and is it gonna be nights?
It
Yes.
doesn't,
So she only does
doesn't
nights?
change anything for us.
A couple of guys I talked to said they'll just let the union sort it out.
All right, so it might be once a month or twice a month?
Definitely once,
All right.
maybe twice. I don't know for sure. Haven't had a conversation with her about that yet.
I would think you'd want to work twice a month at least.
Okay, it's 7:00. If we could get started with a prayer and then the pledge.
Are we gonna wait for our town clerk?
No, she's taking copies.
Let's pray. Dear Lord God, we come before you and we praise you for the fact that we're able to live in this country, which is a constitutional republic. A republic where the citizens have a voice in their government, and we're grateful for that. And we ask that you would be with us tonight as we do the town's business, and you would give us wisdom. And we ask you this in Jesus' name.
If we could do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First thing I want to mention, Connie, that our attorney is not feeling well, so he won't be in today, and Mr. Douglas also. Privilege of the floor?
Yeah, we have something to say if you don't mind.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right?
Go right ahead.
Yeah. This is, you're getting this in an email as well, but what we're,
There was two,
Kelly,
one for
Kenny,
your
you were
lawyer
bringing
and
up.
one for you.
is a copy of our proposed contract. And here's, and there's a letter attached, I give a copy of the letter to each board member. Cause this was,
So we only got one copy of the contract?
we're emailing it to you.
Oh.
I figured you wouldn't wanna read it tonight.
No,
Board
won't
meeting
have
anyhow,
time.
right?
That's what we figured, you wouldn't be really reading it right
Yep.
Yeah.
here at this moment, so
Here.
that way you get a copy of it, email it.
Okay, yeah. And this, what we put in this letter is you know, from the last board meeting, you guys were gracious enough to let us come here and spend a lot of your time talking about the issues with the EMS. And after that meeting, there wasn't any there was no motions made at the meeting about the EMS, but everybody nodded their head on a number of things, and so I wrote down the head nods, what I thought was a head nod. So what I put in here is what we discussed afterwards, what we believe that you agreed to at that meeting. And I can just go through them, and I'd like to go through them here tonight, and if you guys don't nod your head on each one of these as we call them out, then we'll have some discussion about that. But the first one was that I think you all agreed that using tax dollars to support EMS was a good use of tax dollars, right?
Well, there's no other way it can operate without.
Yeah, right, okay, well, I agree.
Right.
Some people might say that's a waste of tax money. So that's number one. Number two is we agree that we're gonna work in good faith to sign a negotiated contract this year. And we're hoping to get that done within the next few months. Agreed? I mean, it'll take as long as it takes to negotiate, but our intention is not to take all year to get it done,
Correct.
to do it as soon as we can.
Yes.
Okay. Number three, you had talked about having a public hearing to discuss all this in April. That's this month.
Well, it's not gonna happen this month because this is not, we're not ready, prepared to do it in April.
Yeah.
I
We don't even
believe-
have a contract yet.
But remember that the discussion at the meeting was that the hearing would, we assume that to support the squad for next year, you're gonna have to exceed the tax cap.
Yeah.
And to exceed the tax cap, you have to have a hearing. This would be that hearing. The hearing to say, so at the hearing, you have to have a hearing in order to exceed the tax cap. And at the hearing, we can discuss with the public what the EMS is proposing, what we're talking about here with the contract and so forth.
Was that,
Well, a couple hearings, I was thinking there would probably be at least two. I think one would be for information, and then I've got to guarantee that that the board would have to go back and discuss the conversation that we had with the public at that first
Sure.
public hearing. Then we would schedule the next one if we wanted to move forward and pass it. Instead of doing it all in one meeting, right up front.
regarding
okay.
the tax
The
cap?
requirement is you have to have a hearing and then pass a resolution. So you're saying you have to have two hearings.
Correct.
I think we're gonna have to have two, Bob. I really do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, because you're not gonna be able to get enough citizens into one meeting.
Exactly, and that's why I hope to do it outside, and I'd also probably like to do it on a Saturday so that
Right.
everybody can come if they get the
And I
opportunity.
know you had suggested like seating and stuff. I would, when you send out the paperwork on it, bring your own lawn chair.
Yeah, we could do that.
You know,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
just bring your own lawn chair, you know, it's just,
Or you
people
got
do
the-
that for everything.
You got the huge town barn out there if it was. You know,
If it was
it's not
raining,
really
but-
gonna be outside, you can have it inside.
Yeah, we'll work out something. We'll just see how it goes.
So we're thinking now that the first hearing would be next month?
I would like to think so.
Okay.
I'd like to think so. We'll shoot for it anyway, Bob.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's,
Right. The fourth item was that we agreed that, I mean, we talked all about a contract, but we also kicked around the idea of a district or a combination of both. And in any case, that we agree we're gonna continue to work together to have a long-term solution.
Well, I believe once we have a contract, I think it's already in the budget at that time. And so I don't foresee it being changed again.
Okay.
I don't see
which
how.
would make it a long-term.
I just see every 2 years we do a contract.
Yeah, the thing with, district though, is it continues, so like, say you guys get a whole new board, and if we have a contract and the board decides, oh, we're not doing that anymore, we're in the same boat.
Do you see that happening?
Right now. I'm just saying,
It just-
if
it
it
just-
does,
It
we're
gives it,
in the same boat, so if we have a district, we're guaranteed that that won't happen, we won't be.
Well, I'm not gonna promise a district right now.
No,
okay,
we
but
just
we'll,
figured in a couple of years.
You know, we'll throw it out there every now and then and see what happens.
so that was the fourth item. The fifth item was that, you know, so the fourth, we're talking about next year. This year is, we still got a huge problem. I'm not sure, how big is the problem now, Kelly? We started out the year like a $250,000 problem, it's down to what now?
Yeah, we just got a grant, well, that's actually for heart monitor. I'm gonna say probably 130,
Short,
short.
still. And so, you know, we
We still
discussed,
have-
we know it wasn't in the budget for this year, but with various things happening and money coming in, we hope that you expressed the opinion that you would continue to review your finances and if possible, help us with this shortfall this year.
I will say we were able to get another, COVID relief. But it's for payroll, but it's only a certain amount. It's like, I'm gonna say 20,000, something like that.
But every bit helps.
Yeah.
So you're nodding your head a lot. I'm not saying George or Jim or Patty.
Because I'm listening and
There's no
understanding.
disagreement with what I've said here, right?
As far as what we talked
Jim?
about last meeting.
I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not agreeing either.
On what item is it you were concerned about?
This stuff is all new to me yet, so I'm still kind of trying to
Oh,
wrap my
okay.
head around it.
All right.
Yeah.
But you were at the meeting, and you listened to all the stuff last
I
meeting.
did,
Well,
yeah.
this is kind of our summary of what we believe happened at last meeting.
Mhm.
I'm not
Maybe
trying to
your
pick anything
summary.
up, that's the impression we got, but since it wasn't voted on or anything written down, I just wanted to put it in writing, so we can have assurance that going forward, because we felt really good after the last meeting, and we just make sure that you guys feel the same way about what we thought we heard. You agree, George? Does that sound,
You know.
did you disagree with what I said here?
Jim expressed it excellently. You know, I don't agree, I don't disagree.
Okay.
And one of the things that, I'm wondering about is if we have looked at all of the options thoroughly. I mean, you presented some options to us, but,
Yes.
you know, they're workable. But I mean, I'm wondering if that's all the options. For example, and I mean, I'm just throwing this out, I have no idea. But what if, I mean, it costs you so much a year, right? You make so many runs a year.
Mhm.
What if you charge for every one of those runs and they got paid for them? I mean, how much would you charge per
Well,
run?
we
Well, they are-
can't get
they
any
do
more
charge.
than what the insurance is paying.
Well, why can't you, I mean, if you,
You go to your doctor's office, your
yep.
insurance
right,
allows this much.
Right.
That's the same with us. We can't, because we get Medicare and Medicaid, we can't raise it any higher because we're not gonna get any more.
you can't bill people for the shortfall?
No, not when you're getting Medicaid and Medicare.
You're-
We do bill them, but we don't go after them tooth and nail,
So, okay, legally you could bill them.
only a certain percentage.
What's that percentage?
I can't tell you without Jody right here, but we can't, because we get Medicaid and Medicare, it's a huge stipulations on what we can and can't get.
That's not for everybody though, is it? I mean,
But because Medicaid and Medicare are getting away with it, other insurance companies are following suit.
Okay,
So if they put a cap, just like if you go to your doctor's office, they put a cap on it, and your insurance, is a subscriber or whatever for that insurance, they can't come at you for more. Your doctor's office can, because you are, your provider and your insurance company have, like a contract with each other.
wait, do you have a contract with the Medicaid then?
We have to take it. It's New York State.
But what I'm saying is, have you entered in individually with this Candor ambulance service, have you entered into that contract with them?
Into Medicaid and Medicare,
Right,
it is a New York State thing. We have to do it. We go to our.
It's not an individual contract that they sign, somebody from SWAT with Medicare, it's just that's the.
just the fact that you're doing business automatically puts you in the system, or regardless of whether or not you agree or not.
Right.
All right. So then,
Our
if,
hands are kind of tied when
Okay.
it comes to that.
all right, just to help me understand.
Yep.
Let's say the bill's $1,000.
Mhm.
I know it's more than that, but I'm not good at bigger numbers.
And it shows up.
All right. So let's say Medicaid pays $300.
Yeah.
Now, how much, there's 700 left.
Mhm.
How much of that can you actually get if you go after that?
For Medicaid, Medicare, none.
I thought you said there was a percentage you could get.
On other insurances, Medicaid and Medicare, we can't.
You can. And you're legally not allowed to do that.
Correct.
They're protected by law.
Yes.
Okay.
It's really, it stinks because Medicaid and Medicare a few years ago really cut down on how much they're
Mhm.
paying. And when they did that, like I said, other insurance companies, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and all those are following suit because they're feeling, hey, they're getting away with it, why are we having to pay more?
And, once upon a time, that was enough to, it's why after all, operated for all those years
Right.
without extra input. That what they got in revenue and what they got in fundraisers kept them afloat. But now with the lack of volunteers, and we talked about the reason for lack of enough volunteers,
Yeah.
and everybody in the state's having the same issue. And
Yeah.
they get reimbursed just like we do here.
New York
Well, we
State,
get reimbursed for every ride, but it's just not enough to cover the cost now of the labor
yeah,
associated with the ride.
what's approximate charge for a ride?
It
What's it
depends
cost
on-
to do?
It depends on the level. So you have a basic ride, you have a ALS,
Advanced life
and it goes
support.
different levels depending on how many drugs are given and how many, so a basic, and I'm not gonna, I believe a basic run is like 1,200. And then
Goes up.
to go up, we can go up as high as, 5,000, but we're not gonna get 5,000. It depends on the amount of drugs, the amount of, things that are done for the patient and stuff like that. And I will say, granted, especially in Candor, if we go to someone and they have died, right then and there, we don't always bill them because, they've already are dealing with the death of somebody right there.
Mm.
It's just one of those tough calls, because if we're not transporting, because if they call the death on scene, we're not transporting.
That seems
And
right.
now with New
Yeah.
York State, that's again, especially with COVID, if we have someone that has been down for, I'm gonna say 8 minutes, for us to really start CPR is kind of null and void
Mm.
by the time we get there, you know what I mean? And now with the COVID, we're not allowed to transport people that are not going to sustain life. The COVID stuff really threw a big wrench in a lot of stuff. It's just, I mean, there was a time where we weren't even allowed to do CPR
Mm.
because of the air from the person that's on the ground and stuff like that. I mean, granted, that only lasted a few months, but yeah, there was a time where the state told us we are not to perform CPR. So we can only do what the state tells us. And of course, they keep giving us more and more things that we have to do, but they don't give you funds for
Mhm.
it, so.
So Bob, if they were to pursue a district, would you be willing to put a cap on the increases per year?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Well, like, look at it this way,
Well, here's my problem, Bob. We sign a district, you're a district, and you'd say, okay, we want an extra $100,000 this year.
right,
Our hands are tied.
that's the same with the town board. The town board has the option to raise the taxes next year, whatever they
I
want.
understand that.
And so it's
But
just
it's
another.
not up to you to raise our taxes.
It won't
it
go
would-
up unless, like, cost of living goes crazy.
No, wait a minute though.
But
Wait,
I'm not going, I mean, we're not going to come for,
I guess it depends on how the district.
would you be willing to put a cap?
It depends on how the district, I don't think that would be a good idea, because what we proposed in this contract is that this money helps fund the labor so that the squad can maintain a crew 24/7,
Right, that's a contract.
okay? And that's what if we became a district, it'd be the same sort of thing. We have a level of support that we.
But there's nothing,
And whatever, so let me finish. So if the cost of labor goes up, like it did in the last couple of years, we gotta pay it now. If the cost of labor went up $100,000 the year after we create the district, are we to say, okay, we're gonna cut back and not have a squad 7x24? If we had a cap, that's what we'd have to do.
okay,
and
then
with minimum
So
wage.
it depends on how the
going up,
kind, if the district is set up, so our mission is to always have this one squad available. Then whatever it takes to run that is what it takes, it's gonna require a tax levy. If you cap the tax levy, then you're limiting, you say, you're limiting what you can do.
I think as far as discussing,
Ultimately, it's the-
as far as discussing a district, there's no sense in discussing a district now because that's years away.
Right.
And I'm not positive, but I don't think we want to ever go with a district as of right now. That's where I'm at. I don't know about the board.
I mean, isn't it ultimately the board that would have to decide on the budget? So if you're requesting an extra 100,000, the board can still say no, right?
no,
Exactly.
the district.
No,
As a district, they're already capped as a district, just like our fire district is capped. It's right around 2%.
Yeah,
but
there's an increase of that
see,
every year.
there's a difference here. The fire district by law is different than any other district in the state. The fire district is totally independent of the town board. All other districts are at the pleasure of the town board. The town board has the authority to manage it from end to end. However, the town board may delegate that. But it doesn't have to, the town board doesn't have to delegate the budget, it doesn't have to delegate any of that stuff.
Right, so I have a district, have a contract.
Because
And they, so why are you pushing so hard for a district, Bob? There's gotta be a
Because we
reason.
discussed it at the last meeting, because it gives longevity, it gives.
Yeah.
And it also gives you the opportunity to raise our tax base.
It doesn't give-
It sure does, as you,
Yeah,
as your
only if it's
pleasure.
delegated by the town board.
We would get
Town
more,
board-
we could get more information,
But you
Matt,
can't
from this when we have, Mr. Pinsky come down from
Yes.
Syracuse.
One
So,
one of the towns, I talked to before the last meeting, I forgot which one it was, they are creating a district because they think it organizes it better, and the way they're organizing it is that district, that EMS squad will be a department of the town. Just like we have a code enforcement department, it's only one employee, or, someplace, or the tax collection department. There are various departments in the town, and this would be run as a department. It's not run independent of the town board, it's completely controlled by the town board. It can be that way, or it can be an arm's length relationship. It depends on how the town board, if a district is created, it's how that it is created that determines what you're talking about here.
the other question I have, Bob, on here, as I look at it, I mean, when you were here the last time with your figures, you were at like 439 or something like that. So you're actually asking for the full four and a half.
When I talked to Jody about this today, actually yesterday, I said to her, I said, didn't we say 430, whatever?
Yeah.
And she says, Bill is well aware. That's what I got, because Bill is well aware of the 430.
Well, 4.5 was the very first thing that when Mark Brown called me and he suggested that they would need close to what the fire district is, and that was 4.5.
Right.
And that's kind of where we were at, but then you came here with 439.
There's a bunch of estimates in there to come up with that number, so.
I know, and that's not broke down in
So
in this, so
Well, we can,
is that magnitude anyway? The exact number is.
Yeah.
We don't know, well, we're guessing.
yeah, in a way that would give you a little floater, but
Well, we
4.5 may last
we have a
4
pretty good-
years.
We have a pretty good handle on what our expenses are gonna be next year with the labor and stuff. We don't, we know what, we think we know what that's gonna be. So what we don't know is the impact of the tax dollars on the other revenue that we get.
Right, I understand that.
And that's an unknown.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be devastating, and maybe it won't be.
yeah, I mean,
We don't know that, so that's not an exact number.
our normal donations.
So we can look at the total cost for next year, we can agree on that, but.
Correct.
And we can, whatever number you give us is part of the revenue, and the other part is, we get what we get.
Yeah.
It's kind of like here with the sales tax. You don't know what sales tax you're gonna get until you get it.
correct. We just
It's nothing
estimate,
you can control.
right?
Can,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
now I gotta remember what I was gonna say.
Well,
So in the contract, since they are all estimated numbers, and if the,
Many estimate, not all estimated. Many numbers are
But-
estimated.
if it ends up being less than what the contract is, then what would be done?
Hopefully.
I mean,
Carrie-
would you use that for something else other than for salaries and benefits?
Well, I mean, don't kick me if I'm saying it wrong. I would say that it's like, we'd have a cash balance, and either you don't give us the extra money, or we give it back to the town, or it seemed like to me that would, since most of the revenue for the last several years has been around $200,000. Now all of a sudden we get 400 plus from the town. The town is kicking in 2/3 of the revenue. It seems like that anything we do with any fund balance, should there be one, should be a discussion between the two parties.
Correct, okay.
That sound fair? It's not like we're gonna go squirrel it away and go have a big party, much as I'd like to. but-
I didn't notice, does it say anything there where you're gonna give us any kind of reports or anything like
yes, it
that?
does.
Okay, all right, I just,
Yes.
And this
So I thought it'd be easier to ask than look for it.
Well, and we also, when we did this, we figured your lawyer's gonna look at it.
Exactly.
Add, subtract, whatever.
Well, and believe me, Kelly, I don't want to get into a big, bickering back and forth.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just a one-time thing. Hopefully everything's great here and he's happy with that and.
And I don't think you guys want to have a contract that's gonna require a whole lot of work on your part to.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I agree.
They've been running by themselves for all these years, you've been running by yourself, so.
We'll get this up to him as
But we
soon as we
need to
can.
safeguard our taxpayers that it's not gonna go up 10%.
Right. And then one of the things, I didn't look at the final version, but one of the things that was, I think is important in the contract is that we have the ability to change it.
It is in there.
You know,
But against with all parties agreeable.
yeah, if there's,
Oh, okay.
like, for example, the point Matt brought up about the change in budget, suppose that next year, you know, we have a dramatic increase in cost, then, you know, what we agree on this year being 2022, may not be sufficient for 2023, there needs to be there had to be some discussion about that. Or like you said, if suppose there was a fund balance in 2022, then in 2023, maybe we don't need as much.
Okay,
Or maybe we need more.
right.
It's really hard to project a year out. It'd be harder still to project 2 years out.
And this money's, Matt, is there any thought of buying a new ambulance, or where are we at on the
No,
ambulance?
we are hoping not to get into too much of the money reserves we have for an ambulance. I mean, we probably are, I know we've gotten into some of it, but we got an estate 7-8 years ago. And that estate has bought the 2 ambulances that we have right now, and we were able to put money aside to be able, because that estate was designated for ambulances. So we're trying to, our goal is not to make you guys pay for ambulances.
Okay.
We have always maintained
They have
our own ambulance.
essentially they have a savings, our cap, and I think it was the capital reserve fund
Yeah.
that you have out there for that. But of course, this year, we still got $130,000 problem. We're gonna get through this year. They may have to take some of that money out just to get through this year. Hopefully not.
Our ambulances have like 80,000 miles on them. They're 7 years old.
What's the life of them?
I know the last ones we ran into 120,000. And body wise, these ones are holding up very well. I mean, they get washed every single time they come in from a call.
That helps.
Well, like I said, we'll get this to
Did
our attorney.
Did you have any concerns about what I thought we agreed to last meeting?
Well, the only thing is on number 3,
Oh, yeah, we agreed it's a different date.
and that could be May or June, and also that there's gonna be 2 meetings, so we don't wanna be pinpointed because
No, I just
we don't know with lawyers and whatnot.
I just wrote down what I thought I heard last meeting.
Okay,
We
all
did
right,
say
I
April,
was-
but now we say it's not gonna be April. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see.
I mean, that's,
and of course, since we just got the contract, kinda,
Yeah.
we
And
can't,
when we-
please let us know before your April board meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So the other thing that I believe that we really need to do, and I think I mentioned it to you earlier, Bob, that I think we need to put a mailer out and let every taxpayer know what gonna
we had talked
happen.
about doing that.
Yep. You like that idea too?
Yes,
I think they should know. They shouldn't be blindsided.
no,
Yeah. And,
So if they can't make the public meeting, at least they've been,
right.
we've
and I
sent
mean,
them information.
and even the public meeting we had in January, you guys were there and saw how
Yeah.
fully it was attended.
yes.
And I mean, that was advertised like crazy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was in every kind of.
On the
media.
news and
It was
everything.
On the news, yeah.
But it was a little more in the pandemic area too than this here
Right.
now. So hopefully more people get vaccinated between now and then.
So we might have to set a committee up for the pamphlets so that we all agree on the information that's going in it.
Yeah.
Would you see something that be something that the town would send out?
If we have to, yeah, we got to, somebody's got to, whether,
Okay.
you know, I think we can get it from, I don't know if we can get it from Connie or who, mailing addresses
You
for
know, a
all
lot
that.
of stamps, Connie, send out to everybody.
Well, you know something,
We could
if that's
probably
what it is, you
bulk
know,
mailing, couldn't we?
I just-
Yeah, we have a bulk mailing.
Oh.
I'd rather pay for it and get it out there than not.
Yeah, because we bulk mail twice a year.
Okay, perfect. If you already have that, permit.
Address on the town of Candor?
Yes.
Do you? Okay. Good.
So if you guys are happy with that, I'm happy.
All right.
Hopefully everybody else doesn't have any questions, or we're all good.
Okay. Good, George?
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you all.
All righty, pal.
Time.
Thank you.
We'll be
You're
back.
welcome.
Anything else on the privilege of the floor? If not, we'll move into approving the minutes from March.
Are you guys done reviewing them?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, then I make a motion that we accept the March 9th minutes.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed.
Hey, Bill, I got a quick question. Is this going out on YouTube?
Yes, sir.
And it's being recorded, so it can be played back at a later date,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, you can just go on YouTube and pick it up anytime. We'll leave it on for quite a while, and then we'll eventually take them off once the minutes are available for everybody. Okay. Financial report. The board has reviewed the vouchers. Someone would like to approve them?
I'll make a motion to accept them.
That's second.
Strobel,
Aye.
Dixie,
Aye.
Williams,
Aye.
Reichert.
Aye.
Secondly, we have a couple budget transfers.
Well, that's our first of the year.
Well, and the reason being is the state has changed some numbers. Like for state revenue share of the AIM money that we put in for revenue, like is A3001, it's no longer 3001, it's now going to be A2750, and that's for $33,000. If we could have somebody make a motion to
So you're
accept
transferring the budget to the new code that the
the
state
new code,
set up.
yeah, it's under the AUD.
I'll make a motion that we accept that transfer.
That's second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a roll call?
Opposed?
Okay.
Okay. The second one is another one that the account has been changed, and that's the drug and safety testing. And a contingency was moving, we're moving $1,050 for the REAP that we paid.
Mhm.
We didn't have any in the REAP code because we haven't paid the REAP in the past. So we had to move some money into the REAP code. And like I said, the drug and safety testing got changed. The code got changed for that. It's $2,000 for the drug testing, and the REAP was $1,050 for a total of $3,050.
I'll make a motion, we accept that transfer, or those transfers, because it was 2 different accounts.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
I've received the town clerk's monthly report. Connie, I did have a board member ask me about the junkyard license.
Yep.
Do you know who that was for?
The junkyard, I have 2 of them.
Okay,
That's for Ernie Ferris up on Tattle Hill and Kevin Tuttle up on Elmer Hill Road.
okay.
Marty did send out 2 notifications to 2 garbage
Services.
services that haven't paid me yet. I've sent them 2 notices and no response. So if they don't pay, then it goes, then he's gonna have to do another letter and goes to court.
Thank you, Connie. Okay, Assessors Committee, unless there's any questions about the financial report, sorry. No? Yes?
No report on the assessor's report.
Oh, okay.
Assessor's
No questions
committee.
on the financial either?
Right.
Okey dokey. Buildings and grounds. Jim's not here. Patty. I did change the lights, Connie, so they'll go on at 8 o'clock at night instead of 6. Did pick up the stones and the yard from the plowing. We have some issues with some lights on the parking lot. We mentioned that before. That one's flickering over there. I think if we could go get a lift from Tioga Tool down in Owego.
Don't we
Maybe-
own a lift?
Excuse me?
Don't we own a lift?
Well, we do, but then we'd have to truck it over here. That's not the little thing. We don't have anybody to truck it anymore unless we pay Royer to do it.
Might be cheaper than
Cheaper than renting.
renting them.
Okay.
Scott Quick do it? Or Keith Quick?
I don't know if he Well, you gotta have, like-
On his trailer.
it's gotta be on a rollback. Cause it's gotta be
No, no,
down.
no. They have their own lifts,
No,
like
it's
Tony
cheaper.
Barnhart or somebody like that.
Oh, you mean get some? Well, if somebody wants to take charge, we need something done with that light down there. And then, this one here is not bad. We could get this with a ladder, but out on this side, the light is flickering. If we could get that,
So what, you need a new bulb or a new?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
If we could get Kevin Letty, he's our maintenance kind of
he's an electrician guy.
electrician gentleman, and he is employed by the town, and we could get him to, cause I can make arrangements for him if we could just get the tools to get him up there.
So we would have a bulb ready in case.
Well, if not, we gotta go get one. I don't know what bulb they are. I don't know if Jim Douglas can help us on that. I can ask him, I guess. But they've gotta be done.
I think the ones out here, we brought the lift over for Bill to do, and I think it's a whole unit because they're LED.
We've
The
had,
same ones that's over at the shop.
No, they're different.
Different.
Yeah.
yeah, we've had that unit brought over twice. Once with Gary Dents, brought it over. And the other one was Junior Smith. I don't know what kind of shape his rollback was. In pretty bad shape then.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm thinking our freebies are gone, so. Okay, well, that's something we'll work on.
So we're still on buildings and grounds.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get the roof bid out sometime this month. Well, yeah, April, before next month.
Yes, with Jim being sick again, I
Okay.
did mention it to him, to get a scope of work done so we can get it in the paper, put it out for bids.
And Kevin did mention that the new signs are gonna be going up soon in the parking lot here at the town hall.
Oh, nice. Cause I tried to straighten them out there today. It's pretty hard. The blacktop's holding them back. I can't get them.
Yeah, no, I didn't get supervisor signs. I got the, handicap.
Yeah,
I didn't
Why,
get
is
any-
yours
I
been out
don't
there?
think, they just need to be straightened up.
Okay.
Pulled out with a new base
okay, I didn't
down.
even,
Yeah, we got handicap
Yep.
No, I purchased the handicap signs.
They're purchased, he's just gonna install.
And then depending on who we get to mow after we open up the bids, and see if we can't get some mulch out here where we took them bushes out and get that done.
Okay.
The other thing is we got a rotted picnic table out there, and our two benches out there, the wooden ones, are just maintenance anymore. I'm not in a hurry to change it right now, but I was thinking when we receive, possibly when we receive the rescue plan money from the governor or from the federal government, that we could maybe purchase some new equipment out there. So we don't really have to approve at this meeting because I don't know when we're gonna get that money. And I thought possibly, I brought up to a few people about fixing our entrance for handicap.
How old is that, the picnic table and the chairs out there, any idea?
It's a couple years old, and somebody gave that to us.
Oh, so
So it
it's,
was already old then, and then it got given to us, and now the boards are rotting out. But what I think we should do is put something out there that doesn't rot, be the plastic with the metal.
Composite.
Frank, there you go. And same with the chairs. No more wooden stuff. We'll get the metal with the rubber on them and keep them protected. Then they'll be there a lot longer. All you gotta do is just clean them up. But these here, I pressure washed them and one of them, and then it's right back to nasty. Of course, I didn't put polyurethane on them either.
you wouldn't think it may be you're not leaning towards a wooden bench at all, or a wooden
No.
table?
No, I don't think so. I think we can get a 6-foot plastic table that won't tip over. They got the legs that are squared up at the bottom. So if you got two people sitting on it, it won't tip over. And it's 6 foot. It doesn't need to be an 8 or 10 footer. 6 foot's enough for what we need out there. And I think it's around $200. The benches are close to 400 a piece.
I'm just thinking that maybe the shop class over at the school maybe could build something.
Yeah, but then we're back to wood and somebody has to maintain them.
Yeah.
And that's what I would kind of like to get away from.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that at you, and we'll see what happens.
Before we leave buildings and grounds, I have the mowing bids in, and they're separated out by town and cemetery. So if you want to, we could open up the one for the town hall.
Okay.
Now,
I'm
if you'd like to.
that's fine with me because we are buildings and grounds, and that's the town hall is building and grounds. And
Yep.
That's fine.
All right. You're all sealed, I'm opening up now, so. First one's from Allscapes at 15 Main Street in Candor, and the bid is for $120 per mow.
You want to see it, Bill?
Jeez.
And you said there's 3 of them?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
3. Oops. Thanks, Jim. The second one is from RP Lawn and Landscape from Wilseyville. And $130 per mow. And the man's name is Ross Price. There. Pass that down. Actually, that envelope is on the floor.
Do these have to be stamped or anything, Connie? As received?
I did a couple of them.
Does it say did it have to say in there, George, about insurance? They were
And
all
you did it
covered.
on the envelope, so you can open them.
The first one I don't remember.
Josh does because he did it last year.
Right, but I,
He's got an insurance policy.
Good.
Right here.
Perfect.
so we have one from Woody Mole.
You need this or?
So that was the RP had
Correct.
his insurance?
I don't need
No, I believe what, I mean, that,
Yeah. All right, so he has $160.50 per mole. And, this is just a budget proposal form, and I don't see anything in here with, insurance, but I'm pretty sure.
We've had him in the past, I'm sure he has it.
160.50?
$160.50. Oh, I'm sorry. This is, have it. So there's the three.
Do I give these back to you, George?
Oh, I guess I'm not sure.
You wanna see this one, David?
So I don't know, Bill, did you want to vote on it or just?
You should make a motion, yeah.
All right. Well, I make a motion to accept the lowest bid, which is $120 per mole. Thank you. Which is Allscapes, ALLSCAPES. Yeah, for $120 per mole.
And we were quite satisfied with his work last year too.
Seems like it. Seems like it.
Oh, I'll second it. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, somebody's got you.
Aye.
Rixey,
Alright,
Williams,
All right.
Reichert.
Aye.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome.
If there's no more on buildings and grounds, we'll move into code enforcement.
well, we have his report here, so. You got a total monies of $870, $75.
And I see his office is closed tomorrow, because he's
Gonna be at a conference.
in training.
You might want to just put it in the ground stuff. You want to keep those?
Okay, yeah.
If nothing else on code enforcement?
Can I ask a question in regards to
Yeah.
code enforcement?
Okay.
My question is, how are we aware, or how do we know that everyone that is doing construction or is doing a renovation, whatever, is actually getting their permits? And the only reason I ask that is because I'm looking that there were 9 through, the month of March, yet working from home and driving around a lot more, I see a lot more construction vehicles around.
Well, then you can, more than happy to tell the code officer, he can only cover so much ground in 48 hours.
Well, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, I'm just saying, how are we?
We don't,
I'm making a.
We don't.
we don't.
I'm making a recommendation that if you see one,
And
contact us.
A lot of times people do call and he goes and checks it out and they don't have a permit.
So we should make the town aware somehow, in a mailer or something, that if you see something, please say something.
Most people around know anyway.
But nobody's saying anything.
So what you're saying is there's possibly that there's people building that aren't
I would
getting,
have to imagine, during, the hardware store is packed constantly, there's a lot of projects going on. Do some not require a permit? Absolutely, some don't fall under, but I'm sure a lot do. And I don't want to, burden people with, we need money, but I want to just say, hey, everyone do their own due diligence.
yeah, because I know he has ridden around and people have done projects and then he'll go in. In fact, I know of one up on Honeypot Road.
Yeah, I just didn't know
And
if he
he-
had a,
And all he did is work with a
Away,
person, he
no.
went in, inspected it, and said, come down, see me and get a permit.
Hmm.
So, yeah, he does do that. Is he gonna miss one? Probably. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but,
no way we can get everybody, we're a big area.
yeah. But Yeah, thanks for bringing that up though, Ed, and I'm sure Ann will put that right in the paper.
With your name.
Say something, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, we got a new quote.
Okay, if nothing else, we'll move on to justice.
Right, okay, the only thing I know is what you just told me about the opening up of the,
Mary opened up DA on the first, I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Monday, something like that, yeah.
And you said she's doing evening hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our police officer was here that she requests for definitely DA day. I'm not sure if she's doing it on a third. Do you know, Connie, if she's mentioned? I haven't seen her. Has she mentioned on the third Monday of the month that she was going to have another court date, or don't?
Shit, I didn't talk.
Me either. It's hard to see her, and without calling her and bugging her, I never even thought of it till now. But
so what is it, the first Monday and
right now, it's just the first Monday
of the month?
that I know of.
All right.
Is she gonna have a third? I don't know, and and I don't know how busy it is.
So should it be called DA night now instead of DA day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the DAs come in once a month, but I thought she was having court every Monday. Gary did.
No, you don't get first and third. I think. Because that's what we were doing with, we were supposed to do with Les too.
The village was doing that. Gary was in every Monday.
Well, that's true. Maybe you're right. It's been that long, right? Yeah, well, I don't know what she's doing, so I can't answer that.
Well, 2 towns in it.
Yes, we'll have to check with her.
Okay.
How many times a month?
Additional hours, yep.
Well, court clerks come in on a regular basis, right?
Mondays and Fridays.
All right, you should know, you can ask them.
Okay, cemeteries.
All right, well, while I'm opening up these bids, again, 3 bids. There was a tree that fell down on Woodbridge Cemetery down by Jim Science's place on 96. And it damaged at least 1 headstone. I don't think, and not, it didn't break it. It was one of those multiple stacked on things, knocked it over. I didn't get a chance to look at it up close because when I saw it, the tree was still on it. But the tree's since been cleaned up and I haven't gone up there and looked at it since. But so it did minimal damage, but it did fall. It's been cleaned up now. Okay.
Has the stone been stood back up?
No, I can't. I can't do that by
Needs,
myself.
yeah, needs 2 or 3 people to help,
Yeah.
Or a piece of equipment with a rope and
something.
get a hold of it? I'm not looking at you, Kevin.
Can we get to it with the backhoe, George?
Well, if you can get in there with backhoe, but you have to wiggle around in between all those.
It was, that one tree that went down last year was very difficult to get in there with a backhoe, because we had to lift that one off the stone.
Yeah. I think with 4 strong guys, or
Okay,
reasonably strong, you could probably pick it up and set it back on its stand. And, see how that holds, if it lasts.
Kevin, I think the people would appreciate it if you could take a chance and look at it.
yeah, I'll
with some
stop and
guys.
take a look at it. Where, just out of curiosity, George, where exactly is it?
It's towards the top. Well,
Okay.
about 2/3 of the way up.
Okay,
And somewhat in the middle. You'll see it, well, you'll see
Okay.
where the tree fell, right? And the tree fell,
I guess I haven't been paying attention to it, to
All right.
be honest with you.
or the tree fell northerly. You'll see the stone,
Okay,
you'll see the stone. The tree fell towards Candor.
okay,
And, so the headstones are like northwest of it a little bit. A little downhill from the tree.
okay, I'll take a look at it.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, RP Lawn and Landscape from Wilseyville. And their bid was for a lump sum for 8 cemeteries, $6,950. And if additional mows would be required, say for any reason, it would be $175, and I'm assuming that's per cemetery. There's that.
So the cat,
175?
What?
175?
175.
so the bid is for how many mows?
I don't know if it says it right. I have a schedule, and Connie's got it in the office, with the number of mows that I recommend.
Okay, so if they go above and beyond, then it would be an additional 175.
Well, if they do it on their own, if the 175 is if we request it,
If we
above,
request it,
above
gotcha.
Yeah, they have to answer
what I
that.
have in the schedule.
Okay. Additional amount on schedule.
See this, Patty?
Yeah, Josh did that last year.
No, thank you.
He was telling us how one of them was pretty bad, and he asked if we would like to have it mowed again.
Growing fast, it's rainy. And people complain and stuff. All right, Allscapes in, this is Josh from, Main Street Candor. His, total bid is $7,300. And, if he does an additional mow, he's got it broke down by each particular cemetery. And it varies from a low of 175 to a high of 575.
Ooh,
575?
Five,
Is that what you
right,
just said?
right, yep.
I wonder what cemetery that one
That was
is.
Woodbridge. That's the one where the tree fell.
Oh,
575.
Yeah, but that would only, of course, he's high anyway, by like $400 or it's $300.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know one thing, I know I wouldn't want to mow the lawns or the cemeteries, all those headstones going around them. Okay, Dick Hoos. Lump sum total, $7,253.95. He must have been having fun doing this. The additional cuts, and then it doesn't break down per cemetery. So it's just across the board price is $162.50 per cut. Although he does say he only plans on mowing 5 times. Okay. There you go.
And you,
That's
That's what's on the
I have, some cemeteries are more, some are less. All right, depending on where they are and stuff like that. The ones on the main roads get more, like one or two more. I can't remember. And the rest of them, it was, I don't know.
so he won't be following the schedule
You're
that
right,
was
he's
in the
not- yeah,
paper.
right,
He's
right.
doing his own
He's
schedule.
gonna do, apparently he's,
We've got all the holidays when he
Right.
wants to do it.
yeah, he itemizes each, when he wants to mow, Mother's Day, Memorial Day, Father's Day, July 4th, and Labor Day. So,
July through September.
and I think you already put that
A
in
long.
the bid package anyway, when you wanted them mowed.
I did, yeah, as far, well, right, the schedule in county office
Yeah.
has, how many mows per month.
Yeah.
And it varies, like in the spring, there's more mows, because the grass is growing more.
Correct.
In July and August, there's less, and then I hit it before, the snow falls. So, all right. So anyway, the lowest price then is $6,950, which is lower by, about $300 from WeMow and about $350 from Allscapes. So the lowest bid then is RP Lawn and Landscape. Okay.
Is there any way we can get references on him since the other two we've had done business with, or don't you think that's necessary?
I think we should give them a shot. They're from local, they're from Wiltseyville.
Yeah, his name is Ross Price.
I don't have a problem with him giving it a shot.
Actually, I don't either.
No, not at all.
I mean, what's the worst they can have? I mean, we're talking about grass.
Right.
Well.
Oh, yeah,
And headstones.
I was gonna say.
yeah. So the guy's name is Ross Price. I don't know him, but he's gotta be professional. He's got a card.
There you go.
So are we confident that this 175 for an additional mow is for each cemetery that he needs to?
Well,
Because you were saying that the
Yeah.
Richmond, I mean,
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
like
his
500.
his prices were very high. That's the straightforward interpretation, the way I
it
read it.
is, but it's.
And that's the way I would argue it, if we had to request that,
Right,
that's,
but it doesn't.
Per cemetery, because not all cemeteries would need it. The one that would be, it was down by Power and Paddle. That one is one that is out by the main road. And last year Josh said, hey, look, that's getting up there a little bit. I've already mowed the contract. Would you guys like to have that mowed again?
Yeah.
And yes, we would.
and I mean,
And so it was
But
175.
he was charging $575.
he wants to.
Wants to, right,
Yes,
so
yeah.
what did he charge last year?
I don't remember what he charged because we didn't have it in the package
Right.
last year. He just called and asked if we would want it done, and I don't even remember what it cost us.
I want to say it's like $300, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah.
It seemed, I mean, for some reason that's sticking in my mind.
Huh?
But then a lot of things stick there. And I
I
don't know
don't
where it comes
remember,
from.
yeah, I don't remember that.
Well, you'd make the motion,
I'll make a
Joe.
motion to accept RP Lawn and Landscape for $6,950 per mow, lump sum. And then if an additional mow is required, it'd be $175 per cemetery per mow. And that would be only on request or agreement.
I'll second that motion.
Strozel,
Aye.
Brixey,
I,
Williams,
Aye.
Reichert.
Aye.
Thank you, George.
Can I have one quick question? I know I'm a little late. What is-
No, no.
You saw insurance for him? I'm just making sure.
Oh,
Yes, he did have land, he had insurance with the town
Yeah.
I
one,
just wanted
so
to make sure, because
I'm sure he's got one in that one.
I didn't hear it on the first one,
Yeah.
and you didn't consider him on the first.
Well-
one, 'cause I just want to check.
he's the only one that included it in
Oh,
the
good,
packet.
then he deserves it.
The other two, we've done
Right, I know.
before, so we
Yeah,
know that they at least had it in the past. I mean,
right, and that's why I asked, is because I didn't hear it on the first round, sorry.
Right. Well, that's probably good. I didn't do my job well enough to say it. Thanks for keeping me on the board here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now if we move on to the highway committee.
well, Kevin's here, I was over to talk to him, so he's got a report.
In front of you, we'll start out with the 284 agreement. In front of you is the 284 agreement. The first page is general expenses, and the rest of it will be CHIPS money. So I talked earlier before the meeting, coming back next month, with some more.
Okay.
Did you have a
So-
quick question about Tomac Road?
Yes,
Or we had some complaint about that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You're gonna get up there and do a little something with that?
yeah, it's right at the end, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I went and looked at it.
okay, oh, actually, you did
Yeah,
have it,
I
yeah.
went and looked at it.
So we,
You mean the bottom?
No, at the top,
Top-
up by the
top end?
farm,
Oh.
right by the end of the farm,
What's wrong with it?
up there. It's
Just
been bad for a long time.
Okay, just do
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
There's buggies or something up there.
Everybody could.
Yeah,
So, the buggies just
Did we
came.
ever address the house on Newman Road on the seasonal part?
yes, I was up there and talked a little bit today. So the house structure is there, I believe he said next week, the barn should be up.
Okay, has it been put in front of the board, has it been voted on yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's already got a permit and the road has been approved by Kevin to,
Yeah.
And then it follows our town guidelines?
it will.
Okay.
And he's gonna also build a turnaround up at the top.
I was up talking with him today, Matt.
Very good.
There's quite a bit of work that needs to be done to his driveway. We're having some water issues. So
It's that 13-year-old on the mini.
Yeah.
It is.
I know.
I've never seen that.
Bill,
Yes,
I wanna thank Kevin because he cleaned up that pile of dirt, goo, gunk, whatever it was that got plowed on the right of way, cause it's really hard to mow and it's getting close to, it would be hard to mow that way. It's getting close to the time to mow, so it was really nice to come home today after shopping to see those guys out there busting their ass cleaning it up. And I wanna thank him for that.
okay, with Kevin's 284 agreement, I did it, add it up, and he's at, almost 300,000. We're expecting somewhere around 317 in chips. That gives us a little leeway for extra gravel if we need any. We have a little carryover money from chips from last year, and Kevin's gonna look at, repairing the top of reservoir where he put the gravel in last year. Try to straighten that up and then put some stone and oil on that. We will have some extra money, I believe, when we find out for sure what we're getting in far as paved New York and winter relief money. They haven't told us how much we're gonna get from that.
That comes from the assembly side,
Yes.
not the
So-
budget side.
Once we receive any of that, let us know. We'll let Kevin know, and hopefully he can move on to a different project.
How's that holding up there?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, we've got, just past Bucky's old place.
Yeah.
We still got a water issue there we're gonna have to address. Right where it always was. Yep.
So,
For the 284 agreement, this has to, what's the deadline on this?
we need to approve it today.
Oh, it doesn't, you don't have to send it in to anybody?
No, no.
Okay.
No.
So
As long as we
if
have
we
it on
sign
file.
this today and you bring an adjusted one next month, then we'll sign that one too?
Right, you just add to it.
Okay, all
Yeah, you
right.
can adjust it at any time.
Okay.
So what we have here is two agreements. As you, on the front page is the 190 that we put in for the budget, just for general repairs.
Mhm.
And then the next pages are the 284 CHIPS money that we use. So we need a motion to accept the general repair one at 190. And then after that, we'll need another motion for the 284.
I'll make the motion to accept the general repairs for 190,000.
So that number you gave us earlier was just for chips. Did that include the 190?
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I was thinking what Jim said.
and we have to sign this, so this, we do a roll call and then we'll sign it.
Yep, Strobel,
All right?
Brixey,
Aye.
Williams,
All right,
and Reichert.
Aye.
Kevin, on Brink Road, I'm assuming you're starting at Route 96 and going up towards
Yes.
Slate?
Yes,
All right, and then when on Eckler Road, you're starting with the intersection of what, Bowling Road,
yes.
and then going to where the seasonal starts? Park Street?
Just before that, George, probably just a little bit past.
Where Woodlock's Hollow goes down?
Actually, Kevin, if you would, I mean, just read off real quick what road you're gonna do and how much.
Okay.
And then everybody would know.
Slate Road, the paving is gonna be about 0.5 miles, George, from the bottom up.
Okay,
52,365 estimate.
What sheet is Slate Road on? I missed it.
The first one, well, actually, the second sheet,
Second sheet in, Bill.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
I see Brink,
two.
Lathrop.
Oh, there it is. Brink Road
No,
to Slate. Yep.
I apologize. I got it.
Okay, Lathrop,
where's Lake?
and then right underneath it.
Oh,
the B, George, 2B.
yep, got it.
And that'll go all the way to the intersection of Lake Hill, $134,143.
So it starts at, Upper Fairfield,
The intersection of Pardon.
Pardon,
And that's 1.5, a little over 1.5 miles.
Right. Eckler Road, And we talked about that. That'll be from, Thulin Road to, I put Race Hill here because that's how the state's gonna recognize it, George.
Okay,
Race Hill actually starts at the intersection of Woodbush.
all right,
From there out, it's considered Race.
yeah.
Distance of 1.41 miles.
Is that how Eichler spelled?
EIKLOR.
It's OR,
Oh, it
not
is.
ER. Yep,
I do that all the time.
I noticed that.
So it's OR. 27,300.
And that's 1.4 miles, and it's stone and oil.
Yep.
Where the other two roads were cold mix. That's why they're a little higher.
Tallow Hill Road, there's quite a bit of work that's gotta be done to that. That's why this price is so much considerably higher than everything else as far as the mileage concerned. It's 1.1 miles, estimated $62,300. And then Slate Road, we're doing a distance of about 0.7 miles. It cost us $17,200.
All right.
There's two
So we-
slate roads?
So you, well, there's one. So you're picking up, or you're going up Brink to Slate, right?
Correct, just a
All right,
little
and then you're
bit.
gonna, and then, actually, you're gonna start from there and go around Slate, right?
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
Just a
Slate
different.
Road, well, Brink Road's gonna be paved and Slate Road's gonna be stone and oil.
Right,
first.
right.
So it'll be two different processes.
Right, understand that, but, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Calla Hill's quite a hill.
Yes, it
You guys
is.
done doing drainage on that?
Yes, we do. That's why the significant increase in
Patty?
price there on
Is
that.
that the one to the water?
On this side,
It's just full of
every
spray,
page.
Yeah, right,
you know.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's all of them.
We did, get a grader. And we're gonna try a rent to own deal on this grader. So we thought that was a great idea to do that. That way we get to try it, make sure it's what we want. And Kevin's got it and been using it.
So right now, is that month to month, rent to
Yeah,
own?
and that's what these are, Bill. I wanna put these out, I wanna put it out to bid.
Okay,
That's what these specs that I give you.
Yep.
That's what these specs are. That was gonna be next on the hit list after the 284.
oh, I'm sorry, because I asked you if there was anything else and you said no.
Oh, I thought you meant on the 284.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, move on, Kevin, I'll wait.
Okay, yeah, I wrote, with help, I wrote some specs here for a grader. I wanna get with county here in the next couple of days and get them published. At least get it in the paper, and then we'll come up with where they can pick them up and so on and so forth. And we'll see what we get for bids.
Nice.
I guess, I just need your blessing to go ahead and send these bids out.
Absolutely.
Can I ask what we negotiated per month for the grader?
$72.50, but if we end up buying this one, Patty, whatever we rent will go towards purchase price.
Okay, great deal.
Unless somebody beats their deal,
Mhm.
and I don't see it.
Okay,
So, and it's, so far, it's been a really nice grader.
Yeah, and also on that grader, I mean, let's not try to have just one operator on that. If somebody's interested in that, have the two of them work together, because it's all new.
Yep.
I think, because if one guy's not in and you're working on a road and then we end up with COVID problems or anything like
Yeah.
that, one guy can't work it. We don't want to have to shut the job down because of only one person being able to handle it. Right? All right. How's our new foreman doing? Is
Good.
he- All right.
Good. I spent most of the day chasing pipes and people today, and, he basically run the job up in the Prospect Valley area. I get him, go get it done, and they did. So, we've got a lot of pipes, driveway pipes, in the next week and a half that we've got to get put in.
That just caved in over the winter or something?
No, these are, other than, there's 3 that are extensions. They need a bigger driveway, for whatever reason. The rest of them are all new construction.
Oh, wow.
So,
Well, make sure they have permits.
yeah. They haven't broke ground yet, so we'll be the first, but most of them, there's 3 of them that are going up on Eckler Road. And a young lady stopped yesterday to talk to me, and her husband owned a piece of property up on Newman Road, and they're thinking about putting another house in up there. So there's quite a bit.
Good.
But
That's good for the town.
we're gonna have quite a few driveways here in the next couple of days.
I see now also, we're also in the market for a mechanic.
Yes, we are. That was gonna be next. Yeah, give me a chance, Bill.
Huh? Yeah,
I would like to place an ad in the the paper, not the penny saver, but our paper. And I kind of have gotten the word out. I know Jimmy's gotten the word out. I know Gene Dewey's, talked to a couple people, but we're in the market for a mechanic. So I had one gentleman stop in very briefly, and he, non-CDL, he is a mechanic, certified mechanic, non-CDL, and he kind of hemmed and hawed, and I haven't seen him since, so I don't know if he was interested or not, so.
right.
Do we not have a mechanic, or we're gonna lose one?
Gone.
We lost one,
Okay, so we don't have one then.
that's correct, Rich. So,
Yeah, and we're gonna have to work out something for a price. I don't know what we're gonna have to do for hourly wage for that. And I mean, we would prefer a CDL driver one, only because if there's something wrong with the truck, he could take it out and drive it himself.
right.
I know when Jim was there, he was able to maintain all the equipment, not having a CDL. If we get in a predicament where we need a mechanic and he doesn't have a CDL, I think we can live with that too.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to do like we have in the past, and work with him if he is interested in getting it, work with him in the future and helping him out getting it.
What would you do if you really needed a mechanic right now? What would you do?
Unfortunately, we'd probably end up sending it out, George.
Okay, no, that's, all right, so somewhere local.
Yeah, well, we have Ralliers down here.
Okay,
Unfortunately, like any of the new truck stuff,
Yeah.
it's so high tech, it would have to go back to the Volvo dealer anyways. There's just so much we don't have the capabilities to plug the computer in. And
Oh,
well, we have
even if we had our mechanic back,
there's situations where it would have to
okay,
go to
that makes
Volvo.
sense with all the computers and
Yeah.
stuff now.
Yeah, and Jimmy can attest to it, and it's just gotten worse.
Yeah. They do that on purpose.
They do. I'm convinced of it also.
Well, don't be afraid to talk to the board about a price, whatever we can do to accommodate.
We'll see if we get any interest.
the reason I was asking these questions is we're not over a barrel, so we're not,
No,
yeah, right,
No.
so,
Most general
Right,
repairs,
that's-
the guys doing themselves anyway.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
we've got a new spool valve that is due in tomorrow, actually, for the roller.
Mhm.
And that's simple enough that we're gonna, Roger and I can put it on in an hour or so.
Yeah,
It's,
Well, that's the thing, Roger is mechanically,
yeah,
he knows what's going on, he knows where all the stuff is also.
old,
So,
and old school
he has
mechanics,
inventory.
replacing a hydraulic spool or line or something like that. It's fairly simple, and like Bill said, we do a lot of it on our own. When it comes to the high-tech computer stuff, we're kind of all in the same boat.
okay. How long before Roger retires?
Couple of years.
3 years, I think.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's good.
3.5, okay.
It's getting close.
Connie's got a question?
I'm just wondering if we can put it in the penny saver, because it gets a lot more people seeing it, because the other 2 papers that we advertise in, there's not a lot of distribution.
I agree with Connie. And I don't have a problem with that, Connie. Handle that. Because that needs to get out.
Yeah.
So will you have to
Everybody-
advertise in both papers since one is our legal paper or not necessarily?
I wouldn't, but
I mean, legally, do we have to do that? If we,
Yeah,
We
so
should.
it's one of the-
Yes,
we
you
have
do.
to do,
Okay.
we have to go with the Candor Chronicle, because that's our legal paper.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to go with the other one.
right, exactly.
Do
the penny saver instead.
The penny saver.
Well, it doesn't cost that much to advertise.
Oh.
Mhm.
I don't-
Not, maybe not for those mow bids, but when it
I
comes
think it's the
to,
Finger Lakes, or I'm not for sure which one it is, but one is quite a bit more than the other.
Well, I agree with the penny saver. Let's just go with that for now and then we'll see where we go from there.
I'll stop over tomorrow and we'll come up with a little something. Get it put in.
Yeah.
I don't know what is it guideline tomorrow?
It doesn't matter.
Wednesday is-
Our legal paper, yes. That will
So,
go out
okay,
next week,
maybe
but-
we can get it in time, I don't know.
If not, just
Or
go to
no,
next week.
Friday.
That's
Right.
Friday is the deadline for it to go into the following week. Not
The
sure
penny
about the
saver
penny
is
saver.
Wednesday.
I believe it's Wednesday
Yeah, it's
too.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
We
somehow I
know
thought
it's
that.
Wednesday.
I know too.
Yeah, you do too.
Thank you, Connie, for that
Send me
input. That's a
copy,
good one.
Connie,
I do
on
all
the
three,
website.
actually.
Yeah.
Send me a
I
copy
really would, all
on the
three.
website.
Yep.
Everything.
Depend, the ton
Everything you
courier is
sent
not,
out.
written. That is like what, $15 or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
How much is it in for courier for an advertisement?
Oh, depends.
Yeah, it's all about size.
Well, what would it be like, or by line, or by inches?
Here you go, right here,
By
George.
inches? So,
Oh, there you go.
alright, so, yeah, but you wouldn't put it in every, would it?
Wow. So just to give you an idea, a 4x3 is $26. So if you're probably half that, you're talking 13. So
That's not much.
no,
What one's that?
that was for the courier, huh? So that's giving you an idea.
Business card size is 25.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have a column in the back for announcements and things too, right?
What?
Well, that's a business advertisement type thing.
Yeah.
But there's also,
Job ads, employment ads.
Right.
Classified, run, five
Right.
word. Yeah.
Legal is different.
Alright.
This is something we
So
really
the
need. So
can
I
could
mean,
be
we're only talking a few
classified.
dollars.
Yeah,
$75
right,
bucks.
right,
Let's get it in
that's
order.
my point.
Yeah.
It's not much.
Now I see you put your paperwork. You got one more thing, do you?
No, that's enough.
Okay, I'll let you know that our street sweeper showed up. Did the second one show up? Or are
No,
we gonna get a second one?
we're not sure we're even gonna get a second one, so,
So you're gonna work that one pretty hard then, good.
well.
I see it
now.
went out today.
Yeah, and that was about the end of it, it's a dusty mess.
Yeah, that's right, today would be.
Oh,
So,
Yeah. So sweep the salt or the sand and snow
so
off
we're
come Friday,
renting one for a week or something?
What's that?
a month.
We're
Yeah.
renting it for a
That one
month?
actually is from the county though.
Counties.
Oh, nice.
That's from the county.
So.
The two that we were supposed to rent, one blew the motor up, they can't get parts for it, and the other one took the main pump out. I talked to Terry Sheets again today, they're hoping that the parts were coming in, he was out on the road. They were hoping they were coming in today and it should be ready for next week.
For Candor to,
Yes.
So we're renting it from the county?
No,
It's just free?
it's a shared services.
oh, that was nice of them. Okay.
That's good.
All right. I don't have anything else now, Kevin.
Okay.
The one that you're renting, is it self-contained or does it run off the tractor's hydraulics? The one you're gonna rent?
No, it's all self-contained. Yeah, it's a Royce.
Yeah.
Is that how you said that, Royce?
So it's got its own, the brush runs off its own motor?
Everything, it's a hydrostatic type transmission or something.
Can you give me a quick update on Frontier? Or didn't you talk?
She
to
was
me?
gonna check with her splicer and get back with me. I haven't heard a thing. I'll give her another call.
All right, thank you.
I was not very nice on the phone.
Good.
So,
All right. So now we're out of the highway department. We'll move into the dog control.
We have the report in front of us. Looks like she's been pretty busy.
Well, that's good.
No dog bites.
No, yeah.
Well, it is springtime.
Somebody had one. I heard it on the scanner the other night. I think it's Tioga Center way.
Really?
Oh, that way?
I think it was northbound.
Okay, yeah, I just remember
Yeah, I
hearing
know which one you're talking about.
it. Okay, okay, Ed, I think, planning board's up.
All right. We brought Candy Ross on, so thank you for that. It was her first official meeting. Since we had a full board, we ran our elections, which we waited until we had a full board. The board nominated me as chair, Robin Beebe as vice chair, and Art as secretary. We started talking about site plan and seeker. There has been word, and I heard on trainings and things, that when it's required. And seeker, I'm still trying to get a clear answer for, but from what I heard, the state is kind of requiring it for almost anything you do, regardless of where it is. So I'm trying to get some clarification on that, because if that's the case, then that would mean even somebody building a home would need to do a seeker. So that would definitely increase the amount of work, even putting in a sidewalk, things like that. But there are different levels of seeker and a bunch of things. So I'm, again, trying to get clarity on that, and we're working on that. And there's some upcoming workshops that we will be attending. There's one this coming Wednesday on Thursday on infrastructure within small towns. So I'm attending that one. They're free from.
Are they virtual or?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
all virtual.
Okay.
And I also did hear from, I've been weekly emailing our representatives at Congress, and I did hear from one. They gave me information on a grant to pay for our infrastructure. The only problem was we needed to know how much it was going to cost us.
Oh.
And we don't have any of those numbers. So now I have to, and again, the board is also looking into this as well, trying to find grants to pay for somebody to do an estimate of how much it would cost to do the infrastructure for our area. Spencer got a grant earlier this year, and a local agency contacted them apparently and said,
So
hey.
What infrastructure are you looking into doing?
So it would be for sewer, water, gas, and upgrading the electrical. So that's kind of where we're at currently.
So just let me ask you a question. If we get into a sewer business, who's gonna run it?
We haven't gotten to that point yet. That's
Okay.
all in the questions of
Same way with water. then.
how it runs.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to communicate with Spencer because they did get that grant to get the estimates.
But they upgraded what they had.
What's that?
They upgraded what they had.
Do they have sewer?
They haven't upgraded anything. as
I'm
of
talking
yet, though.
water. Oh, I guess I'm talking Vanetton, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes.
That's a new water tank up
Spencer, from what I had heard,
sorry.
they got that grant to get the estimate, to have some engineers come in and do the planning and everything. So when I get some confirmation on that, I want to see exactly where they would be positioning the pump house and everything, and see if we could size it properly. If you know what I mean.
Okay. How about the opening the seasonal use road there, the fee? Remember, it was supposed to be in the franchise fee. Have you guys moved
We
on
are,
with that yet? Or are you still
meeting-
working on it?
Oh, not this Monday, the last Monday of the month, we are holding our workshop, and we intend on getting that pretty much wrapped up at that meeting, and then voted on at our May meeting, and then bring it before the board for review.
Excuse me, and you're looking at doing it as a fixed cost?
As of right now, like I said, it refers to our fees schedule, and there's nothing on our fee schedule for it. So what we're looking to do is actually put a dollar value for a home estimate per X amount of miles.
Per thousand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that way, it'll be consistent and,
So it's in our laws, it's just not in the fee schedule.
we don't want it in the fee schedule because.
Our law says
Our law
that it is
refers
in
to
the fee schedule, but it's not
but
there.
It's not there, yeah, so. So that's what we're doing, but the thing is, our law has many references to other laws throughout the state, and we wanted to make sure that if while we're updating it, that all these laws are still accurate. So,
So it ballooned on you.
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Can you mention anything for Board of Appeals or everything? As far as I know, everything's good on that, right? I haven't heard anything.
Well, I do know they contacted me to come to their May or June meeting, I think it's May, so we can actually discuss, what the what the board does, the planning board does, and kind of educate them a little bit, and then they can kind of come to one of our meetings and talk to us a little bit, so we're
So you
kind
can
of
work
educating
together.
each other and work
I like
together a
it.
little closer. Not that we've needed, any, or had any issues, but it never hurts, and this goes back to kind of what I think in fact, I know I mentioned it last year before COVID started. I believe it was in January or February last year, and you guys all thought it was a great idea of holding something during the nicer weather of all the board members from all of our boards, having a public picnic where people can come and talk to us and find out exactly what we do, because there are a lot of residents that don't understand what each board does, or even understand that we have these boards and what they do. So I think that would be a great time, and everyone's looking forward to, getting back out again once things start opening up. So that might be a good celebration.
Okay, thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
Okay, old business. At the top of it is the town emergency plan, which the state was pushing us to revamp ours because of the pandemic and then COVID. We got some stuff from the town of Barton, I think it was, and North Valley. A bunch of us got some stuff together, and Jim has been working on it, and he's, of course, didn't make it today, but he's got it pretty much done, and we'll work on that next month.
Okay.
EMS, we've already talked about that. They turned in the contract. Insurance claim for water
Excuse me.
damage.
Jim, we'll make a copy for you since you don't get an email of that contract
Okay,
from the EMS.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
When we had the water leaks from the solar panels over the winter, we actually had the insurance company come and look at it. And so anyway, they got an estimate of like $5,900, and then by the time you do your $1,000 deductible and your depreciation, we're somewhere around $4,000. And so what we have to do is submit the evidence of cost. And so what we need to do is get a contractor in here, and I'd like to change the ceiling tiles in that hallway and all the offices on that side where the leaks were. The conference room has it. I don't remember if there was any in the code enforcement officers, but in Gene's and the supervisors, and I think even in the lunchroom has some tiles that have stained. So that side, I'd like to get some new panels put up there, and we'll look and see about getting a.
Do we have to put that up a bit, or it's not
Well,
enough? No,
that's-
I don't think it's
We should be okay because it's not going to be over $5,000, right?
All right.
Hopefully.
I think just and not only that, we may be able to have
Kevin,
Mr. Evan or
Buddy,
Kevin Letty. Couldn't spit it out. Kevin Letty or even myself, and then we'll just purchase them, and then we can turn this in.
Bill, is there any dating on that estimate from the insurance company that this is good for?
It's at a reasonable amount of time.
Yes.
Because your materials have almost doubled in the last 60 days.
Well, the quote was done in March, or the quote, the estimate that they gave us, so the
So
30 days ago.
Bill, plan on half a,
They've really doubled in 90 days.
The sheet OSB I used sell for $8, it's $34.50.
Yeah, so I don't know what the ceiling tiles are gonna be, but I think I could go up and count and see how many we're gonna need and,
You can't, once they're water stained, it
Yeah.
comes right.
but we got around $4,000 to play with. So,
No,
and then of course Jim's not here too, and then I have mentioned to Jim about the roof and getting a scope of work done for that so we can get that out for bid, which we talked about a little bit last month.
Make sure you're sitting when you get it.
Well, and you know something, I mean, there you go. I know, I'm sure 20, what would we put in there, 20, and we had a little bit in there before, but 20 probably isn't gonna be enough. But we're looking for, I'm assuming it's gonna be a tear off and hopefully all the boards are good and new material put on, so.
That's where it would be.
If anybody got anything else on old business, if not, we'll move on to new.
does our town engineer have anything on old business?
Don't, I guess the only update would be Prospect Valley Bridge.
Yes.
So we have Lavella working on our application for Bridge New York,
Okay,
and the first milestone is April 21st, so they're gonna have a rough draft of the application for the town to review. And then that needs to be submitted in May 5th to New York DOT. The final is due in June. The first step is just looking at a rough draft. So Bill and I had a meeting a couple weeks ago. We kicked it off. So Labella's working on that right now.
and that's May, what was the
So
deadline?
the deadline to New York DOT, and it's really more of a courtesy review. If you don't, it's an optional deadline, but it's recommended to submit, is May 5th
Okay,
for this application. And Labella will send us the application the 21st of April for us to review and comment. So we have about a week, 2 weeks before it's supposed to be submitted to DOT. So we have a chance to make some edits.
okay,
There's a section where we can submit letters of support for this project. And so it might be good to have the fire department write a letter, maybe the ambulance garage, anybody else or any other organizations maybe in town. Probably the board, it'd probably be good to have a letter from
How
the
about the
board,
school?
the school too. That's a good call.
can you send us an email on that so we
Sure.
remember?
Mhm.
Thank you.
The Finger Lakes Trail goes through there too, and so the local chapter of that is interested in submitting a letter just because the trailhead's on the other side of that bridge. So I think the more letters of support, the better.
That would be good, because a lot of them go up to Shandagan
That's right.
and a bush road and stuff.
So Finger Lakes,
Finger Lakes Trail System. That's all I have.
Now, I do have a question, and I'm not quite sure where we're at because we're all over the place on the dam.
oh, yes.
I know we were talking about what they had settled for and leaving us out around $41,000 for the fish ladder stuff. And of course, and then our meeting and our conversation with Larry and with Homeland Security, they were talking about us asking for our total or amount of 75% of the project, and then still possibly arguing over the 41,000. And I don't know where we're at on that yet. Jim was working on it, and I was going to ask him again today how we're going to make out how we're working on that. At one time, I thought we were talking about just let's take our money and don't worry about, like your email says. But they sounded very confident in appealing it one more time and for the 41,000. I don't know. Maybe we should just get a hold of Larry and say, look, we'll settle for the, what was it? Can't remember how much it was now. I got it right here. I thought.
39 for 394.
It's almost 400, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I think the risk of appealing it again is, it sounds like the review would go to the Washington field office of FEMA, and then they could reopen the whole audit and look at things and question things. It almost seems better just to.
Then we're right back at it again.
just take
And then
the-
how many more months?
Right,
Yeah, you know
so
what?
that would probably take us to the end of September.
Yes, I think it was 394,000 if I remember right.
Yeah, it says it right here, bottom of the first page.
Yep, there it is right there.
394,000.
Okay, what I'll do is if the board feels that we should just take our 394 and do that, we'll call Jim and we'll get a hold of Larry at Homeland Security and tell him just to submit that. Last time I knew, I didn't know, I don't think that money was in to give us, to reimburse us yet. Did you? I don't recall, do you?
Well, I think this starts the process. If we say, if we agree with FEMA's determination, then I think that gets the process started. The
Yeah.
FEMA will reimburse the state, and then they'll give us the funds.
All right. I'm gonna put that in to call Jim. I'm gonna make sure we get that done. And everybody's in agreement with that?
I am.
All right. Okay. New business. As everybody remembers that Gretchen resigned as a deputy bookkeeper. So Gene has had a conversation with Lynette Loper, and she has agreed to take that position. So we need somebody to
Make a motion.
make a
Do
motion.
we appoint her then?
We to appoint her, yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure what the word was.
I'll make the motion to appoint Lynette Loper as deputy bookkeeper. Is that right? Loper?
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, okay. As some of you have heard, the American Rescue Plan funding is, the federal government is giving municipalities a sum of money, and I think if you guys remember,
That's
Mr.
in the
Riggs,
Handout that I gave you guys.
Mr. Riggs mentioned how we were gonna get $550,000. And that is what the town of Candor is gonna get. But here's the stipulations, and some of them, the village is gonna be getting some of them. Not quite sure. Mr. Halstead and I've had some conversation, and we won't know until we actually get told. But he's thinking around 60,000 of that. And we're supposed to receive half of it, 60 days. I can't remember when the 60 days started. And then and 12 months later, we should receive the other half. And the only stipulation that I know of right now is we can't use it for pensions or anything like that. I think we can use it for infrastructure. And COVID to repay for essential workers that were off with COVID, to refund that. There's a bunch of other things. So I'm broadband. And as you all know, the broadband we have is Mr. Hafley, which was at 60,000. So I thought maybe that we would get 60,000 of that and put it away for that, and then we don't have to worry about taking it out of our taxpayer because we didn't budget for it. And so I thought that would be a good chance to put that away for that. And maybe do our front entrance with some of that money and look into whatever we can do with the rest of it.
How about the sign? That was
Yeah.
voted on many years ago
If-
and approved.
Hey,
If we can get that in there, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Just to give you some ideas, like Tioga County, they're receiving somewhere around over $9 million. And I think like Tioga Center and them, they're real close to us. It's just amazing. Town of Caroline is 360,000 they're gonna receive. It's amazing how much money they have here.
No, they don't have it, they're just correct.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I was gonna say, all I need is a printing press.
Somewhere around $12.6 billion.
Who got that?
yeah, total.
Wow. Jeez.
How much money did New York
And of
City
course,
get?
possibly, the ambulance, EMS.
Yes,
We don't,
How would
That's-
you do, you can't use it for salaries.
correct. Which we don't need to.
we can't use it for pensions.
Unless it was for an essential worker.
Actually, in the guidelines, ambulance service was included as
But it doesn't say anything about salaries, just pensions.
that you cannot use as pensions. It doesn't say you can't use as for salaries.
Thank you.
Correct.
To recover, to receive a loss of COVID-19 public health emergencies. That's something we could
That
use.
definitely falls into
Mm,
that.
Doesn't it
wa-
though?
Water and sewer, broadband. So I just wanted to make everybody aware that
Should I just submit my list now?
it's coming.
Future.
The next thing is this COVID leave law that we received, and Connie's got Patty's got the update on that.
Okay, we're trying to get something in place, like a town policy, as in regards to COVID. And what we did is we contacted the town association, right? The Association of Towns, and she sent us the New York State COVID-19 leave law. And in that law, it says town employer is required to provide 14 calendar days of paid leave to public employees who are unable to work and who are required to quarantine due to COVID-19 exposure, providing that the exposure was not due to travel. The New York State Department of Labor issued guidance clarifying that a covered employee may qualify up to 3 rounds of the New York State COVID paid leave. So what we were thinking is to pass a policy for COVID that employees of the town shall be eligible for up to 3 rounds of employer paid leave, which coincides with the law.
Let me ask you a question. If it's already a law, do we really need to,
Can't you just adopt their?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Or we can
Just
adopt
law.
theirs. I just want something in writing so that we know when it stops, because right now we're paying everybody and for whatever amount of time. I mean, even myself, who ended up with COVID last month, got part of that action because I was out of service, but still got paid. But the quarantine is the big part right now. Is you can't pay somebody in full 10 times in 1 year. It's just going to break the town. So that's why we want to,
Adopt the 3
Right.
times.
Yeah.
Maximum.
So why don't you just make it to follow state guidelines in case they change it, and then you'd have to redo it again.
honestly, I want to believe that, that emergency plan that Jim is working on may have that in that. That could be something we could ask him about that.
well, and even if it's not something that we adopt, we have to make our employees aware of
And
this. This is, I guess this is the more important
Yeah,
issue.
I guess that's we could do that. I mean, Kevin could do that, just to let people know. And of course, you know what we're talking about.
Possibly mentioned.
And,
So this is 14 days leave, but times 3.
Well, actually, they
year.
changed it
Per
to
year.
10 days.
Oh, okay.
The,
well, the law says 14, but most quarantines are 10 now.
All right. So it's up to 14 days times 3 per year.
and I think the 14 days included two weekends, because you got 10
Oh.
days would be
Oh,
work days.
Well, if they left that, what if they left that on Wednesday?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're constantly adopting what the CDC approves,
Well,
and the
Well,
state
oh,
just
that's still,
changes
would
it.
that still work out though?
That would still work out,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
weekends would be in there still.
Yeah, never mind. I didn't say that. I take it back.
I think it's just, let Kevin go down there and let the employees be aware of it, and the employees in our office, and I think that's sufficient. I really don't believe we need to make a motion on that.
And, because I'm trying to be proactive and think ahead here, which
Sorry.
Bill says, relax, Patty. But, I think copy of vaccination cards should be turned in to the town clerk to be placed in the employee files.
Are we requiring vaccination?
No.
No, we are
For
not.
employment? Okay.
No.
So this is all voluntary, right?
Correct.
All right, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's all voluntary.
Do we strongly recommend?
Sure, that's no
Sure.
problem.
Yeah.
Recommends, that's fine.
And the next thing is, currently the town is requesting a negative test result to be turned in after an exposure quarantine or testing positive for COVID. Bill's checked with other municipalities and they are not making this mandatory. So we kind of have to decide where we want town of Candor to fall, if we want to.
All right, so if they have a mandatory quarantine, they satisfy the quarantine, right?
Right.
So we're requiring that they also get a test before they come back to work,
Correct.
all right? But they still, okay.
Yeah,
But we don't have to do that, right?
we really don't, no, because we could go by the health department, the county health department will call you and say, your 10-day quarantine is up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but that don't always happen.
No,
No.
it's
well, and
I
then,
would
you
say
know
10%
something?
of the town.
If you're still
10%
sick,
of the time.
you're not gonna come to work anyway.
Right.
And that's one of the stipulations we should, if you're
Yeah.
still sick, don't come to work. Just let us know
Mhm.
how it is, and, that's 10 days. You got 4 more,
Right,
because you're up to 14 days.
yeah.
According to the law. So I believe we could go with that. I mean, we'll go with that and just see how it goes. I mean, like I thought, it took me 3 times to get a negative test.
Right, and you had no symptoms to speak
No,
of.
just a runny nose.
Right.
But I want to play it the other way around. And Corey was quarantined for 10 days because I had COVID.
Right.
He had no symptoms. On day 9, because he needed to have a negative test to get back into work, he went and got a COVID test and had it. If he hadn't have gotten that COVID test, on day 10, he would have gone back and could have infected the whole town bar.
So does he actually have COVID?
He did have COVID, yes, he did.
Okay,
So then he was quarantined another 10 days.
okay.
See, and the Department of Labor won't make a ruling on this one way or the
Yes.
other. They're leaving it up to the employer.
Right.
Yeah.
How did
So
he-
there's a lot of employers that are saying, yeah, before you come back, I want a negative test, and there's some that are saying.
Right,
Good
so we
idea.
have to decide where the town of
I
Candor's
think it's a
standing.
good idea, having a negative test where you come back.
And the thing is, you could be just as healthy as could be and
Right.
still have that symptom in your body. And you could carry that up to 90 days.
That's
We-
the hard part,
Yeah, the test could be false.
right, especially after you have COVID,
Yeah,
your symptoms are gone and you're not contagious anymore, but you can still test positive. That's the thing against
Yeah.
having the negative test results.
So back to the state guidelines with the 14 days off at 3 times.
Mhm.
You get it for 4 times, what are they gonna make you do then? Take your
Well,
own
then
time
you would
off?
use your own
Your
sick
own
time.
sick time?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Or personal time,
Or
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
Correct.
it would seem as if a person had COVID, actually had the disease, and recovered, then he won't get it again, he or she.
For
right?
90 days, they're saying.
Well,
That's even in.
Well,
I know, it changes
Yes,
daily.
You still can, George.
Yeah.
You can get a
You
relapse.
can still get it if you have 2 shots. Come on.
Yeah, there are people that have had both vaccines that are getting it.
Yes,
Really?
exactly.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So that decision, I mean, to me, should be made sooner than later.
my feeling is if the health department says you're relieved from your quarantine and you don't have any symptoms,
Right.
you're more than willing to come back. If you still have symptoms, just like my wife did, the doctor said you're gonna stay off another week.
Right.
In our case, it's 10-day quarantine, we'll give you another 4 days by the law.
And don't they like take temperatures and things? I mean, if they take your temperature and it's high.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have any temperature, I have nothing other than a nasal drip down my throat. Now other people, I mean, fever and
Right.
aches and pains and no taste and all that. My wife was the same way. She just went back to work Monday. She was off a month.
Mhm. Wow.
So, and that was through a doctor, which mine wasn't. I just went to CVS and did a test right outside the drive-up window.
Oh, okay.
And then 2 days later, I got my results.
Oh, FYI, $422 they charge for a COVID test.
Wow. Where you went?
Ridiculous. Lord's Walk-in.
Oh, you don't have to pay that.
I know,
That's
but
just
we
what they
still,
submit to the insurance
I know,
companies.
yeah, I know,
Back
but it
to
was,
the conversation we had originally.
yeah.
Okay.
And then they only have to pay.
I mean, of course, that was the
Very small
lab
percentage.
work and everything, but I just,
That's not
$422.
right.
They showed it to you? Did you get?
Well, you get it in your
Yeah,
benefit
that's why the
too,
prescription
Oh.
drug plans and all these things.
because you get
are
a
so-
monthly update,
Yeah.
or I do anyways, on what claims have been submitted, and I got that just yesterday.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, I did it 3 times through my insurance. I don't know what they paid. I didn't pay nothing yet. So if there's nothing else,
So we're not making a decision on the town requesting a negative test result
I
or
think we should.
not?
so what do you want to go with?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go with a quarantine. If you still have symptoms, take the next 4 days.
And a negative test to come back to work.
I don't, no, I'm not, I don't think I want to require a negative test.
I
Yeah,
think
but
so.
who
I
pays
just
for
want
the
to
4
know if you
days?
got the symptoms.
Well, like she said,
But you
Corey
didn't
was
have
getting
any
ready to come
symptoms.
back to work and he
But he
tested
had
positive
symptoms.
and not.
He had a cough.
Yeah, but.
I mean,
she
I guess,
doesn't have a cough sometimes.
yeah,
Shoot, I cough. Maybe I got symptoms.
Well, okay, I mean,
but
I'm not making a motion yet, but that's what I suggested. If you want to make a motion that way, that's,
I mean,
you
the
say how
only
you want to
thing
do it.
about the negative test is after you have it, what if you do test positive for the next 2 months? And then you can't come back to work. I don't know.
I went every week
I'm
to get
I'm
tested.
50-50.
I went
I'm just-
7 days.
Think we need
Got
to
tested.
decide.
And then the next 7 days, I got another positive test. Next 7 days, I finally got a negative.
It's crazy.
What are your feelings, George?
It's the flu. We're, we're hiding under a rock for something that's, I mean, it's not fun to get, and people die from it. But the statistics are, it's essentially a bad case of the flu.
Well,
And-
look at,
and-
the flu number has gone down.
Well. yeah.
Millions.
Well, I have an opinion on that too, but it's not good.
No, not COVID, flu.
No, and a lot of it is because of the mask wearing as well.
That's
Okay,
Yeah.
But our immune systems are gonna be totally screwed once we take these things off.
Yeah, well.
Well, our board members have been tossing it around. Has anybody got any input on it? I'm open to hear somebody's input with it. I suggested,
Kevin,
He's
do you have
talking-
input? I mean, cause you
I,
could be directly affected
yeah,
or
I
infected.
go for my second vaccine on Thursday, you know, I'm crossing my fingers that I'm one of the 97% of the world.
Bill, for
Um,
some, sorry, Kevin, go.
You know, the two that have come back to work have both brought with them tests showing that they were negative.
Well, that's
It
cause
was,
we
right,
made that mandatory up until,
it was kind of a weight off the shoulders of the employees that were there.
that's true.
You know, there's a couple situations where they have elderly family members. And I think they were glad to know that the person that they were in contact with at work was negative. I mean, I've mixed emotions like Bill. I really do.
Yeah, and I have mixed emotions too
I
because of
gotta
the,
tell you, Kevin, when I got my negative test back, it said at that time they didn't detect any COVID, but that doesn't mean you still don't have
Right.
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's how
So-
the one that I read yesterday. That's all I read. There's no detection of COVID. Doesn't say you don't have it.
Yeah,
Any-
So
Right.
Anytime you have to go to the hospital for a procedure, you have to test negative.
Correct,
correct.
yes.
How's going back to work any different than going in the hospital?
I test weekly at Cornell.
Excuse me?
I test weekly at Cornell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, it's contact tracing, but still a test.
So, and this would be whether you're under quarantine or after you've had COVID then.
I think you should provide a negative test. I'm with George, but I think you should provide a negative test.
I don't have a problem with it, if that's, you know,
I'm thinking legally, if somebody if they came back and they didn't get a negative test, you're then opening yourselves up. Again, I
Or
agree with George on this too, but you're opening yourselves up to, oh, well, they didn't require it, so I came back and now everyone else is sick. And
Or I took it home to my grandparents.
yeah,
Well,
and then what if somebody dies?
how many people have been vaccinated at your highway department?
all but two.
Okay, so when the vaccinations kick in, which will be in a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
All right. In theory, they're immune. I mean, they could sit right down next to somebody who has COVID and have,
Hopefully.
you know,
That's
and
what we're
that'd be a
hoping.
problem.
That's what we're hoping.
So this whole discussion
Could
really
be
is,
a moot point.
Yeah.
I think so.
The only thing the
And I agree with that, too.
guarantee, and it's not even a guarantee, is that you could still get it. It's just that what they're saying is you won't die.
well, right. They say one of two things, either you're protected against getting it, or if you do get it, the symptoms will be a lot more reduced.
Right.
But I hate to say it, we want to think ahead to a third, fourth, fifth strand too, possibly. Okay, I mean, I know.
well, like the health department says, when they call you and relieve you off your quarantine, they ask you then, do you have any symptoms? At least mine did that
I never got a call.
the second one.
Billy said that he did this.
Yeah.
He didn't get a call, nobody in the family got a call.
You get
the
more
first
calls
time-
when you're on quarantine than after you get diagnosed with COVID. They just drop you off the radar.
Yep. He said that when his wife tested positive, she was getting text message like every 2 hours.
Yeah.
My wife every day.
Yeah. He said that he never got any.
Was that when she was on quarantine or after she got positive?
Both.
Both, okay.
Because she was,
Kevin, do your other employees plan to get a vaccination or not? I'm just curious for what we're trying to decide.
The one, yeah. The other one, I don't know. He has mixed emotion about it.
Oh, I do.
Kind of on the fence.
So, I guess I kind of agree with Ed, just to kind of CYA the town, maybe a negative test result would be good to get. And like he says, his employees are happy that they know that the person supposedly isn't sick.
Well, rather than drag this on, we'll stay with a 4 or with a negative test right now then.
Okay,
Okay, then makes everybody happy and we'll stay with that for now. Then we don't have to drag this on anymore. Okay,
that is the
I
end.
seeing how we do have 6 people here, I done away with privileges the floor at the end, but seeing how we have some people here, we'll open it up for, any conversation.
I just have one request, and I'll even do it. We've had that sign for the pavilion sitting in the hallway out here for a long time. I will gladly go buy the darn bolts and just bolt them to one of the pillars. But I think this year we should get it up. I know we're doing a lot of work, and it's starting to look great.
Yeah.
But
I did have some conversation.
Yeah, this is good.
Inside the pavilion and the gables, we have enough trim to trim the rest on both sides of it out and fill that in with siding. And I have mentioned to some people, if we could get that done, then we can get the extra material out of there, and then we can start putting a wall up in there and start getting a bathroom in there. So I was told maybe next week, get some help to get that siding up.
that's hard.
And
Yeah, but in the meantime, at least people will know, you can't bring alcohol.
Right.
It's a bring in, bring out. There's a lot of rules.
Yeah, that
on
is
there.
stated right there.
Yes.
Yep.
So, if we can at least agree on. where
Last
we're
year, we
gonna
didn't
bounce
really
it
have
and
to
just
worry
get
about
that-
it because it wasn't
get
open
that
because
put
of
in.
COVID.
So that's all I have.
okay, if nothing else,
I got
Go.
one thing, just to make you guys,
go ahead.
I just had a quick question.
Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
At all the meetings I went to about the ambulance service, which I believe is needed, I didn't see any village. Is this the village?
The village is a part of the town.
Or anything?
The village is part of the town.
So we can't double tax those people.
Not, okay. So-
You see what we're saying? That-
Their tax also will go up 24,
Right,
almost 24%.
The fire district comes from, anyways, I can't remember, the rest of my sentence blew up, sorry, somebody
Yeah.
fill it in.
The district covers the whole town, from our whole,
So village.
whole outside.
Correct. The village people are included in the town
Yeah.
taxes for the EMS. So if they took money out, added money to the village budget to help cover the EMS, then the village people would be
Double
being
tax.
charged twice.
Okay, well, they haven't been there to ask, so I don't know.
Yep.
They were-
I thought of something else, on Facebook a couple weeks ago, and I think in the Penny Saver, someone mentioned that for some reason, our road, the people are just litter bugs, they're throwing all sorts of crap out the road, out the windows, and I'm not even counting the beer cans and bottles, because those, a lot of the people pick them up for the nickels. But the people on Facebook and other places are complaining and saying, well, maybe the town should clean it up, which I know you can't do, anyways, I just wanted to bring it up that apparently.
Actually, why don't you run to the Penny Saver and ask the residents to clean up in front of their house?
Well, they should.
Themselves.
I mean, that's.
Well, and that was gonna be my statement, in the last 2 weeks with this new recycling program,
Yeah.
I've gotten 3 complaints in the last 2
Yeah.
weeks from residents. And I have to agree, I really started looking today, there is a lot of recyclables. in
Some
the
of it's
ditch.
recycling, but there's also every single
We knew that was gonna
fast
happen.
food
Yep.
company crap
Yeah.
all over bags. Somebody throws their bag out of the Dandy, they throw their bag out of Burger King. And at least we got rid of the diaper thrower.
If we could get the,
No,
if
we
we,
didn't.
if we
Did
could,
it? Oh, no.
That's
if
the
we could
grossest thing
get
in the
with
world.
the four-wheeler club, I think they've got back together. They used to do a cleanup day for the
Yeah,
village.
that's right,
Kevin,
they used to.
is there a way for you to get like the litter signs?
Chamber of Commerce used to do that too.
Yeah,
Did they?
the problem,
Chamber of American
Pile of
Legion
them,
Auxiliary
and-
still does.
a lot of times I'll get a hold of Stan Winnick and him and I go up and we'll look through the bag.
I saw you,
We had some success, there was a
This was a long meeting, but we
huge.
covered a lot.
I need some of your stuff that you
Lower
passed out.
Fairfield.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes.
And
And I only mentioned that so you guys would know, I wasn't like, what are you guys gonna do about it? Cause I know that they're just gonna keep doing it.
so there's people that know, I hate to say this, but there's people that know how to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And I get caught.
Twice in the last
Absolutely.
3 weeks. If I
So,
had somebody-
What was your question, Kevin?
No, that was gonna be
See why
my
they don't do
statement,
that
is that
process?
I was getting some complaints about the amount of
That was in the.
recyclables in the ditch.
And I'm really wondering because that recycling truck, there's no man grabbing hold of it. It's the arm goes out, grabs the thing and flips it up like that. I wonder if
Only in the village.
it is only in the village. I saw it in the
And
village.
then we have two other companies that are also doing it,
Right,
and one of them's dragging around a trailer with rack on it.
yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
you're right.
I saw that.
Oh, gosh.
Well, that stuff might blow out.
Correct.
I
Yeah.
don't- I-
Especially
I'm
the aluminum
recycling
cans
something.
and stuff right out.
Milk jugs.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of milk.
So that was gonna be my statement.
I just figured people drove by my place and just threw it out just for spite. So I do other places too, huh?
Well, okay, if that's it, we're done with that. Somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn?
Go for it.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
I was yawning, I didn't hear.
Oh,
Jeez.
we're right.
George or Jim?
Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Right.
And then you, Patty?
Yep.
George.
You remember
You read it?
Innocent
So I'm giving you
Railroad.